Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 183. Briar is given the look. He's got a certain look right now.
Briar is doing it.
For those that can't see the look, he was staring fondly into the camera. Yeah,
Fondly.
A fond depth to his stare. Wilson, welcome back, man.
Yo, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Sweet Dick Willie.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for so long. Sweet dick.
So Sam, for those who don't know, Sam, my waifu, she is
Named you Sweet Dick Willie.
Yes. Well, no, our friend Gary.
Yeah, that was Gary. That was a Gary thing.
My other waifu, Gary. He came up with that nickname, and Sam put it in her phone. And it was just kind of funny. I think she was with, well, definitely her coworkers have seen it when I call that I'm Sweet Dick Willie. But I think it was like some
Sweet Dick's on the phone.
It's like some sweet old lady. One of her customers saw it and was like, "That said Sweet Dick Willie," and like she got like super embarrassed. Like this old lady got like started blushing and got super embarrassed.
Like when the
funny.
Sweet Dick's
no one's
calling.
called me that. Yeah, no one's called me that in a while, so I kind of forgot about it.
That's unfortunate.
You caught me off
It is
guard.
unfortunate, man. You got to change that.
That is one of the best nicknames ever made.
Yeah. Props to Gary Diaz.
Yeah, Gary Diaz. We got to get Gary on the show.
Please.
Gary
God.
Diaz needs to be a thing on DCP.
Good source of entertainment.
This
that,
show will
man.
go so off the rails when Gary Diaz shows up.
Those are the best kind of shows.
Hold up.
Yeah,
You telling me
that's
the
true.
show's been on the rails? News to me, man.
Good point. Good point.
Right? Wilson, what you been up to, man? How's things?
You're looking at what I've been up to, actually. No,
Partaking?
yeah, dude. I mean, not a lot going on. Like I was saying, we finally got out of the house and did some yard work, and like that was cool for like 10 minutes. And
10
we
minutes
wanted
of
to go
yard
back
work,
inside.
Yep.
Yeah, we wanted to go back inside and play video games. So like instead of putting all the leaves somewhere, like we ended up just burning them for the first time. So it was good to get outside. It was good weather. Instead of adding, like, you know, everyone's got this this backlog of video games right now, and I was like, this is gonna be a perfect time to get into that backlog. And I don't know about you guys, but my backlog has now grown exponentially now that I've had this time off. Like,
Why are you just starting games and not finishing them?
pretty much,
Like
man.
Briar?
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, so Friday comes out, it's trials till reset, basically, you know, like playing trials, having a blast with it. But in between then, like, I don't know, man, like nothing's just like tickling my fancy. Like I'm really excited for Final Fantasy to come out in a couple hours.
Same.
For us
It's
plebs.
so good.
Is
Yeah.
it?
It
Is that the
so
official
good.
Watts review?
Watts, give us
It
your
is.
60-second review.
It's so choice.
60-second Final Fantasy remake review. Go.
You play it. It's the best. That's it. That's
Well,
it.
that was quick.
It's so
Damn.
good. It is so good. There's not been
That
a
is a
single thing.
scathing review.
There's not been a single thing that's happened in that game where I'm like,
How many hours
I
did you
heard
play
it's
so far?
horny as shit. Like I heard it's like super sexualized.
Is there a lot of tension in that game?
there's
Or is
some
that-
flirting going on.
might just be
flirting?
you, Briar. Might,
There's some
Maybe
flirting.
I'm reading stuff into.
might just
I
be
think
you.
Briar's
mostly
projecting.
me. It's mostly
Listen.
me flirting with all the characters. So
Yeah.
yeah.
One of Briar's criteria for rating a game back in the day was how was the sex in game? Like, is there that was
What about the sex?
that was a revolver like criteria for rating a game? Yeah,
I'm gonna say, Tefty,
How's
if you
the
do,
fucking? I believe
Yeah.
was the actual.
Okay, yeah.
Tefty, if
Uh-huh.
you don't name your stream Shaking
I
the
heard
Final
about this.
Fantasy,
Mhm.
oh
Yeah. Good point.
everyone's gonna be severely disappointed now. We had a whole conversation about it.
I'll send like actual mail letters into the editor.
You're gonna write scathing handwritten letters. Well, I guess that's it then. I'm gonna have to. The first day,
Yeah.
at least, is gonna have to be
Mhm.
called "Shaking the Final Fantasy VII Remake
Yeah, I think that's
Bearded Edition."
gotta be.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
I
Is
guess that's it.
everything geared
It's gotta
in
be.
day one?
Generally speaking, what I try to do is I try to replace something in there with bearded, and sometimes people will be like, "Why didn't you pick the obvious one?" And I'll be like, "Because it's obvious, man. You got to be a hipster around here, obviously." Jesus. You know?
absolute hipster when it comes to the titles.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to playing that game. So in terms of other games and backlog, what's on your backlog? Because you said you've been getting sucked into the trials vortex, but your backlog is increasing.
Yeah, Doom Eternal on Nightmare, because you got to play it on Nightmare.
Because you ain't no bitch, right?
Because I ain't no bitch, dude. You got to play it on Nightmare. It's so fucking hard. I don't recommend playing it on Nightmare.
It is. It is hard. No joke.
Listen, we were talking about it in like our Tower Life Discord, the group that I'm in for Destiny, and everyone's like, gotta play Nightmare, and like, so there's all this pressure to play Nightmare, and everyone else made it sound like they were having such a good time, so I booted it up, put in Nightmare, and I'm gonna say I feel like I could run faster and jump higher as a human being after like 3-4 hours of Doom Eternal on Nightmare. I don't know what it is, dude. I feel quick when I get done.
You felt exhilarated after playing the game?
Yeah, you feel really fast. It does kind of make you better, but let me boot up my Switch here, because I think I have about like 20-30 games on here.
See, that's the real rabbit hole. If you start backlogging the Switch games, whoo, man, it starts adding up.
Why is Switch different?
Because there's a ton of awesome indie games.
Yeah, and it's
there,
dude. You could just like...
You know what I've done? This is the rabbit hole I've gotten into, and it's a bad one, is that I don't want to download games. I want to buy physical copies. So I don't buy the games when they come out. I go to like sites like Strictly Limited and Limited Run Games, and like, when are you gonna sell me a physical copy at twice the price that I probably also will never get to play?
Is this the hipster equivalent?
It looks good.
I don't know.
I think so.
This is the hipster equivalent.
It feels a little hipster.
I ain't downloading it like everybody else. I'm buying a physical copy.
I don't want to, like, I got really turned off by the Wii, like, virtual store getting turned off, and like anything that you bought there, you can't access anymore. So I'm like, if I'm going to buy something, I kind of want to buy it like a physical edition. So if I want to play it in 10 years, I could play it in 10 years, right? Like, the reality is, though, throughout my entire life, I've just like bought and sold games. So like, why am I doing this? I don't even know. It's like totally hypocritical of me.
Definitely strange.
It looks better on the shelf, like, than in a digital collection. It looks better on the shelf.
I don't even keep my games in a shelf. They're in a box.
Whoa.
What are you doing?
Whoa, man. I'm offended. I thought you were like...
I don't have time. I don't have like room. I got a small...
You're in
office,
quarantine.
You know?
Come on. You got time to rearrange that stuff.
You've got walls. Motherfucker. Put some shelves on there.
It's not like you're going out gallivanting at coffee shops, going having steak dinners right now. Think of all that time.
Gotta show off those games, man.
Yeah.
Who am I showing them off to? Who cares if I got games?
Your YouTube. You can flex on YouTube.
Your podcast buddies.
You know what the least interesting videos on YouTube are? Is a guy sitting in front of a wall of video games that he's never played, showing off all the new games that he's never going to play.
Sounds like you got a hit series there, man. Games I'm never going to play.
What if I played this game, but I don't?
Yeah.
Right? I've heard this game is great. I'll never know.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm disappointed, man. You need to I thought you bought these games because you wanted to set them up in a way to visualize.
No, man, I'm enjoying. So I've been playing a lot of retro games, and I'm enjoying the shit out of them. Like, there's something about playing an NES game, and it's only got 2 fucking buttons and a D-pad, and like, this is like super liberating and super fun. It's like, here's the tools I have. There's 2 buttons and a D-pad, and I got to beat the game using these buttons, and it's super. In a world where Doom Eternal exists, and like every fucking key on your keyboard is used, like, there's something very like, I don't know, it's different, it's simplified and it's fun.
Now, obviously this is side quest material, but like, I wanted to ask, because you did recently pick up a monitor that would, or a display, I should say, a viewing device that would complement your retro gaming, as opposed to these god-awful modern HDMI high-definition setups, this 4K setups. Like, what is this, like, crap, right? What?
Are you accusing me of having purchased a CRT in these times where you're not even supposed to leave the house? You're saying that I left the house to go and buy a 20-fucking-year-old TV? Is that what you're saying to me right now?
Yes.
That's how little you think of me. Unbelievable.
But I
Where'd you
wanted
get
to,
from Salvation Army or Goodwill? Where'd you go, Briar?
Craigslist.
Nice.
Oh, even worse.
did you wear a
All
mask?
you gotta do is Google or Craigslist TV, and just look at the $0 ones, and they're all like
Oh, you got it
really
free.
fucking nice. Yeah. it's
Did you
free.
call them up and do the quarantine procedure where you're like, hey, I'm here. Can you put it on the step? I'll just pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They left it outside their garage.
And then
Good
did you
job.
Lysol it down? Spray it down?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've always kept like those Lysol wipes in my car anyway.
You know.
So it's like this is not a big change.
It's great. So I know we don't want to dwell too much on this, but what was the result of playing on a CRT TV after all these years of having 4K and
So I hooked up my Mister to it. You know what the Mister is, right? It's like a
yeah.
It's never
Definitely.
gonna get old. I hooked up my
Mister.
Mister to my
Wilson, do you own a Mister?
No, man, I am intrigued.
I highly recommend it.
It sounds thrilling.
I ordered from Zero himself a set of component cables. If you're not familiar with component, it separates like the red, blue, and red signal into different wires.
And G, don't forget
Hooked
about
it up
green.
to my Mister, and I am enjoying some 240p gaming on my CRT, and I gotta say it looks really good, man. There's a difference. Like it looks better than it does on an LCD.
Yeah, man, old games do not look good on newer technology, in my opinion. I used to go. I was going through the same phase as Briar, man. I had like 600 out of the like 700, maybe
600.
Dude, the ones that
NES.
I were missing, yes, the ones that I were missing were like in the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And it was like, no way I'm paying that much for a shitty
Dude, that's a
version of
collection.
hot slots.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting a lathe for glass blowing, and it was a total disaster. Came in from California. It had sat in a garage up against the ocean for a long time. Like it was rusted out, like couldn't use it. So I sold my entire collection to basically get this lathe completely redone. I mean, this thing was from like the 50s, man. This Bethlehem lathe that I had, and
Built by men who were men.
that's what I'm saying, dude. It's the guy, my machinist that I went to, like, dude, he redid the whole thing and made it look like brand new, like the day it came out of the factory. Like dialed it in for me.
Do you still have it?
And 100%, man. That's how you gotta make the, this making shit like this big
There
is
we
hard.
go.
Is hard
do
to
that
make
on a
by
lathe?
hand. Yeah, it's not like a wood lathe. Like it's
A
it's kinda
1950s
like a
lathe?
but like, so it's like you have two chucks that you can open up and put like tubing in there and then crank.
For
down
audio
the chuck.
listeners, Wilson just showed off a badass looking. Would you call that a bong? I don't even know.
Yeah, I can call it a bong now. I live
It's
in
like a
Legal
genie
City,
that lives in a bong.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no downstem for it yet. Like I still got to make that, but like there's like encased opal in there. There's just like little decorations on it. Like there's like the checkerboard and like spiral pattern on the
very nice.
stem and stuff. And like making pipes is a lot of fun and stuff, but like making jewelry is probably my favorite thing to do. But like
Jewelry is better than making smoking utensils.
It's funner. I have a little bit more like creativity with it, in my opinion, because like at the end of the day, like you still have to be able to smoke out of it. So like there's some
Sure, it's
really
gotta be
creative.
functional.
There's exactly.
You're not just going to put it on a shelf.
Hold on.
You're going to use it.
I don't want to let that one go by. At the end of the day, you still need to smoke out of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because pipes pay the bills, man, and like jewelry are like a novelty thing. And don't get me wrong, dude. There's some people like Briar. You've seen that documentary that I told you to watch.
What's that called again?
Degenerate Art.
Yeah, that is
You can find it on
amazing.
Netflix. I mean, there's people kicking out pieces that you could smoke out of that you would have no clue if you walked past it in like a museum. That like they just pushed a bowl in it somewhere. You know what I mean? Like
Like Transformers. Like one of the most impressive ones. I think it was Bumblebee.
Yeah.
It was how big was it? Was it like 3 or 4 feet tall?
I didn't know. I think it was like 14, like
14
maybe 14
inches?
to 16 inches, and it was like this
was-
full like action.
Wow.
Like you could move its arms. Like it had a reservoir for butane, and it had a fucking blaster, like a torch, like basically like a torch mounted into it, to where you can like heat up the nail for
Holy crap.
whatever dabs.
Incredibly
oils and
detailed.
concentrates. Like incredibly detailed. Like
And play
came
Transformers
from-
at the same time.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's stuff out there that just is completely mind blowing. There's people out there that are like way better than me, but like the fun stuff to make, like I was showing
But
Briar,
they're spending like
little,
hundreds of hours, right?
yeah, like I mean, and a lot of those guys don't work alone, so I mean, it could be like 50 hours, like spread between like 4 or 5 guys. You know what I mean?
Wilson, are you smoking out of that little Game Boy?
Yeah. Is
no,
that
no,
a?
this
Is
is
Is that a
wearable.
functional pipe?
No, this is a wearable. That's what I was talking about. So it's got a little bail right there. For
Okay.
your-
Yeah.
oh, it's like
You
a
know what I mean?
pendant.
It's a pendant. Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
you get to rep your Game Boy love.
Yeah, or there's like you do like some sandblasting and do like images, like the
Oh,
question
nice,
mark
the
and like
question
the
mark,
block.
yeah.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's really cool.
You could do
Anybody who's listening to this should check out the YouTube version because Wilson is showing off some amazing stuff.
little bomb
what's that?
pendant.
That's really
It's
cool.
like, yeah, a little bomb.
Is that a bomb from Mario?
Yeah, yeah. Then it's like a drip pendant, like it's kind of melting, and that little spot in there is like it's an opal. You can like encase like opals in there, and
Nice.
for some reason
Wow.
for some reason some synthetic opals can like not crack glass, and then you can
This
do a
one's
lot
really cool.
of
Yeah,
do a
that's
lot of
really
cold
cool.
work on it, so you could see like the smooth edges. That's called faceting to kind of give it that like
This
just
this
faceted
looks
look.
like you could now make an engram, a Destiny engram.
Yes.
yeah.
You
I
have
know.
now perfected that
damn it.
technology. You need to make these out of glass. I would buy an engram.
I've been trying
Like,
not to
imagine a
do-
glass engram for
That'd
like
be cool.
20 or 30 bucks, right? And it's like, not full size engram. It's not like the size of your chest. But imagine like the size of like those foam ones that Bungie gives away sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I should have been a little bit more prepared here, but like just like I don't even know if you can see it, just a bunch of dry
Oh, boy.
pieces, like different glass pipes and stuff. We use
Well, what is going on in there?
we use
That's his
we
inventory,
use,
man.
yes,
Where's
this
life?
is what I've been doing for like the past like couple weeks. Like you can't really like quite see because it's not really the good setup, but like we use double layer gun cases to like just kind of lay them down because they got the foam in there.
Right, sure. The double layer gun case.
Yeah.
That's
Where do-
protection for your glass.
Where do you keep your
doesn't look
guns?
doesn't look sketchy at all, dude. Like, so check this out. I got a great story for you guys on this, and I'm sorry, I know we're getting off the rails here. I went out to Colorado, like well after Colorado had legalization or whatever, and was really excited. I got to go out and work with some really big name glass blowers, and we did some incredible work. Had a blast. It was great being in a legal state for the first time. You know what I mean? Like no worries, no nothing. Well, we were walking out with all of our glass going to the trade show with all these fucking gun cases, and just some person just happened to be walking by and looked, and like
Colorado.
we get pulled over by, and I say the boys, I mean like old school boys. Like these guys were not fucking around, but within 2 seconds of pulling us over, dude, they were like, "Oh my God, like what the fuck? Like we're so sorry. Like, you guys are totally in your right to do this. Like we've been getting a call about people moving guns, and this is just absolutely ridiculous.
They open
We're
the
sorry."
cases. And, oh, thank God, it's just guns.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, breath of fresh air. You're
Yes,
just
it
hustling a
does.
huge amount of pipes. Oh,
So we were cool about it, but my buddy was a little upset. He was like, "Nah, man, you come here to have like the legal state experience, and you could have had this experience anytime back home. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. It was just an interesting story.
The
It's only
difference
time that-
is, though, you get to walk away.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's,
you weren't incarcerated.
yeah, for sure. But like, other than that, like we go to a lot of places, and like we've done like demonstrations for charity and stuff like that, like live glass blowing demos. And most of the time, like everybody's like 99.9% of the time, like everybody's like super supportive, like genuinely interested in like what we're doing and
That's really cool.
What we're creating and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's kept me out of trouble.
Not a lot of Republicans go to those shows. Is that what you're saying?
You had to go there, dude.
Is
Few.
it expensive to get into glass blowing?
Okay, so no, not really.
Yeah?
Not necessarily. It's something I think with like any hobby or profession, like Tefty, you could probably attest to this. I mean, any of you guys, you ease into it, you grow into it.
Yeah.
You know, when you first start streaming, you don't need everything. You don't need the best equipment, just start streaming on your PS4, just go live, and it's kind of the same.
You're not
way,
buying
just,
that 1950s. What was it called again?
the Bethlehem lathe. Yeah, Bethlehem.
You don't start out with that.
Literally built by Jesus.
Yeah, it's the Bethlehem GL50.
They built World War II equipment and then immediately built this thing right after.
Yeah, first thing, get your torch, a couple $100. You can get, very basic torches to get you melting glass in no time. You're not going to freaking turn the torch on and become a Picasso like instantly. Like, you need to melt some shit and you need to break some shit. Like, you need to realize
gotta get your hands
that,
dirty.
Yeah, you just need to realize that, like, you can't just, like, the first time you just take room temperature glass to the flame and it explodes on you. Like, and I don't mean explode like shrapnel everywhere. Like, it just cracks and falls apart. Like, that's what we call we call it like blowing up, and it makes it sound way worse than it actually is. But so there's like little things, like you can't just like take it to the flame. Like, you can't just like make your piece and set it. You can't always like make your piece and just set it out in room temperature. Like, you got to have a kiln, which like is a hot box that gets up to like, at least 1,000 degrees before you can start annealing your borosilicate glass. So there's like little
like
things,
an
like
Intel processor.
you can, yes, multi-core. But what you got to do at like the beginning is you could buy like a bucket of vermiculite in a crock pot, and it like helps a little bit. Like, it's not going to reach 1,000 degrees, but like there's, start with the ghetto equipment, start melting
that's
glass,
like a glass blowing hack right there.
100%. Like, vermiculite in a crock pot for your finished pieces.
The crock pot because it's made out of ceramic?
The crock pot because it's ceramic and it can take some heat because you can turn it on, and vermiculite really insulates heat very well. So when you put your finished piece down in there, you're kind of creating like a warm space for it to...
A safe space.
I mean, dude, that shit comes out at thousands of degrees when it's
melting, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we can, if you're in the torch and you're spinning the glass, like, it wants to be spherical as long as you're spinning. Like, the moment you stop, like, I mean, it could, slowly just droop down and, your piece is ruined. But just as quick, you take it out of the flame and in, 20 seconds, it's, back to where you can, like, kind of smack it on the table. Like,
unless, of course, you're going for Salvador Dali inspired pieces.
That's absolutely. It's like, absolutely. Like, which I showed you on the drip pen.
Yeah, the drip. Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool, man.
It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of people out there that are, extremely better than myself. Like, you should definitely
don't sell yourself short, man. You've done
those look awesome, man. Those are fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
One more thing before we start talking about some Destiny stuff. How has quarantine life, like, has it made you more productive doing the glass blowing? Or have you been less productive, or is it about the same? Like,
it's about the same. I go through phases. Sometimes I just want to play fucking video games, dude. Like, sometimes I just want to grind out some Destiny. I want to, especially when it's trials time. I'm up super late. And,
no glass is getting blown during trials. That's what you're saying.
No, dude.
Nobody's getting blown during trials.
It's debatable, but it's quarantine has been I don't know, man. Like, it is nice to get out there and like make some stuff, but I'm gonna be totally honest, dude. I've been grinding out video games more recently than being out on the torch. This time of year I'm supposed to be doing concrete. Winter time's usually, glass time. So I'm just it's got to be weird, adjusting back. Like, I'm still hoping everybody's going to want concrete when this whole thing's over. You know what I mean? Some people might not be worried about it, but there's always glass to fall back on. You know what I mean? So there's always that like kind of positive aspect. But quarantine's been mostly gaming. Like, the lady's been playing Animal Crossing. I've been playing Trials and then sitting here staring at my giant Switch library and sighing in my room during the weekdays.
Physical library?
No. I'm fucking, are you kidding me? I left my house four times since like November 11th, dude. Like,
well, Amazon delivers.
That's true. I've gotten a lot of packages lately.
But people have to come to my house for it to be delivered, and I ain't having that right now.
Can I be honest? I think I've spent more money because of this like self-isolation thing than I would have ever spent. Like, in a normal, let's say like a normal like March 15th through April 15th. My spending has got to be like double or triple compared to the previous year.
Briar's
it's
like, oh,
ridiculous.
I'm a little bored. My shopping fingers getting.
Yeah, cool.
Right.
You know, it'd be great as a classic CRT TV to play these video games on.
That was free.
Andy
I only
shop
had to
local.
drive 2 hours each way to go pick it up.
You drove 2 hours for that?
Each
Oh,
way?
that's great.
Each way.
That's 4 hours. I'm not a mathematician, but that's 4 hours for the CRT TV.
2 plus 2 is 4. God damn. And
Hey,
think
I was
about
happy to have something to do to get out of the house, to be honest with you.
That's true.
yeah, on the bright side, gas is super cheap right now. So really, you know,
That's because nobody needs it.
yeah, nobody's
Also,
driving.
there's no pollution. Like they keep showing pictures of all these
True.
cities that have these huge hazes over them of all the pollution. It's like, hey, look, blue skies. Never seen this before.
Yeah, and animals coming out that normally don't come out. They're like, yo, where'd the humans go?
Did you see the image of the coyote? It's in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and was
Crazy,
that New
right?
York or was that L.A.? I can't remember what city that was.
Boston or something.
Or
Was it?
Chicago.
It's
Some
Yeah.
city.
one of them cities.
You guys just swept the entire country. In no particular
3,000
order, you
miles.
guys just-
Still don't know where it's at.
Somewhere in the USA.
Somebody set the new Cannonball record. You guys know what the Cannonball Run is, right?
Huh.
We jump
You
off
don't
the
know?
diving board and do a cannonball?
No,
I
the
know.
Cannonball Run is a race. It's not a race, really. It's a race from New York to LA.
Mm.
And the current record was 29 hours and some change. And somebody broke it, obviously, because there's no traffic.
Right.
So the Cannonball, so this is highly illegal, right? Because you've got to do 100
Yeah.
plus miles an hour, for the entire way. Previously, the way people have done this is using iPads with Waze on it, plus radar detectors and all sorts of technology. Plus, a lot of people will even have cars in front of them speeding their asses off, so they get pulled over, so that they know where the cops are, right? Radios and rabbits, basically.
I sent a mule in.
So yeah, somebody just broke the Cannonball record. Now the Cannonball community, because there's a community of fucking these people.
Naturally.
Oh, no.
It's well, there's got to be an asterisk, when baseball broke the home run record and they were doing steroids, right?
Right. Because
No
Dude.
traffic.
during a
No
pandemic, no traffic.
Right, pandemic. The pandemic Cannonball Run.
I think you should give him a gold star for being a fucking opportunist, man. Way to get in
Right?
there and
That's
swipe
thinking.
it. Dude, you think video game speedrunners are crazy when records get broken? Imagine actual IRL speedrunners, dude. They don't.
Right?
Yeah, it ain't happening. It's like when they took Worldline
Imagine
away,
driving
dude, they're
across
freaking
the
out.
country in less than 30 hours.
What
Think
a
about-
dream.
Insane.
Think about it.
What a dream.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
drive
So,
fast. I can't-
Can we
Destiny,
talk about
huh?
Destiny? I mean, we're 40 minutes in.
I think at this
Guys.
point we
Dude.
just write it off. We're just all right, we tried. We
Well, there's
mentioned
some
crowd.
stuff. Hold up now. There was the IO bunker.
There was
Yeah.
the IO bunker.
Wilson, did you open up the bunker?
Hold up. I forgot. We forgot to chastise Wilson sufficiently for being on a competing podcast.
Oh, yeah. Bruh.
Listen. Listen.
Did you bring your peace
all right?
offering?
Always, man. I got plenty of peace pipes. Plenty of them. You kidding me? This is how we solve problems here, man. Get in a circle.
I want to ask Wilson how he fell in with such a bad crew of people.
Listen. Lego is okay. Lego and Triton are two of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life.
Right, but
Lego
Hove was in
doesn't
that
even-
group.
Lego doesn't even. I'm getting to Hove. All right, I'm saving the best for last. Lego doesn't even swear. Triton has been such a bro. When my dad was going through some cancer treatment stuff, he wrote a letter from my dad and all this sweet stuff. Super sweet guy. Okay. And then there's Hove, the degenerate. So don't let one man. If you're listening, Hove, I love you, man, but you're a fucking degenerate.
He's awesome. He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, he is. He's a great dude. Don't let one person ruin it. All right, we're not. You can hate on me and Hove, but don't hate on Lego and Triton.
I'm surprised we've never had. We got to get Lego on. That's Pope's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it's
Multiple-
definitely Pope's fault.
All the problems with the
Movie of the
podcast,
week
we definitely
winner.
blame on Pope. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Right, because he's not here.
Yeah.
So
He's the scapegoat.
And all he's doing
certified.
is getting guests and stuff. That's all he does all day, right?
Right?
all he's doing.
Like he's got 24 hours in a day, and he's got to do one thing in those 24 hours, and no Lego.
Yeah. So it's pretty clear. It's obvious.
Pretty clear what's going on here, and that is nothing.
It's a great movie of the week. Where there's Legos won so many movie of the weeks, like all the way back.
Do you know how many? I think it's like a lot.
I think it's
the most.
Like 5 or 6. Maybe.
It's got to be a world record.
Yeah, he puts a lot of time and effort into some really creative videos, and he's a good guy. You guys should definitely get him.
That's really cool.
He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
And so is
Maybe
Ho.
you can give us some tips on getting movie of the week.
Yeah, get you. Hey, just hit him up. He always needs like getting help, like recreating certain scenes and stuff like that. So
True.
Yeah, there's an art form to that.
Speaking of scenes, did you guys see the new? It's not a cut scene exactly, but it's Zavala talking to the war mines.
Yeah, so this is opening up the IO bunker. This is what happened. Yeah.
Yep.
What'd you guys think about that?
I want more.
How come everybody knows Russian? How come everybody knows Russian but us? Everybody can talk to him.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I had to have it explained to me by Bife. Like, all right, what did I just see exactly?
No, I thought it was super interesting. Like Zavala and Rasputin always button heads with each other. Who would have thought they're butting heads because they're basically exactly the same? Like both afraid of failure.
They have common goals.
What I mean?
Yeah.
True.
That was cool.
That is the lore.
Because, like, in the past, Zavala has really been like anti-war mind, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Not a fan.
Absolutely.
And now he's kind of like they've related on a kind of humanistic.
Yeah,
level,
they humanized
though,
him a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
both Zavala and the war mind.
Yeah, true. But definitely the Warmind, because the Warmind has always been like this looming AI that may or may not have interest in keeping us alive. We don't know. And this definitely revealed that they have common goals. The Warmind failed once in the past. It does not want to fail again. And so the cutscene was them saying, or Zavala saying, let's make sure that we always work together as opposed to being against each other for fear, basically. Yeah. So that happened, and then they showed there was a star chart that showed the Space Doritos Super Nacho cheese edition, right? Or nacho cheese
They're on
extra.
their way soon.
They're outside
eventually.
the solar system.
3D.
My guess would just be
3D
September, honestly.
3D
I feel like it's just leading to September. They need to bring them at this point, right? It's got to the point where it's like ships. Here's some ships, dark ships. We got to fight the ships now.
Well, also we have the summer story to connect as well. And supposedly the summer season is going to be the one you don't want to miss of all the things that are going down. That's what they said. That's what Bungie said in the docs.
Bungie said that?
Yeah, like Luke Smith said something in like a documentary. He's
yeah. Wasn't it like it's all the build up to season 11 where
it's like, this is the one. You don't want to miss this one. It's going down. You know, stuff's happening.
Make sure you pay your seasonal pass money because this is the one.
This one. Let me tell you about some content coming. Woo. So yeah, it's a building towards that.
I thought what was it, like 2.9 million souls aboard that ship or whatever that they were talking about in that cutscene with Zavala and the Warmind. So I think they're setting something up big with those 3D Doritos for September. I think that's like the next big expansion will hopefully be rotated around those darkness ships, because like we saw it at the end of the original D2, obviously the vanilla campaign, and around that time I think Bungie said that they really had no idea of what they wanted to do with the darkness, and then all of a sudden there was a post about they think they figured out where they want to take the story with the darkness, and now we're getting all this 3D Space Dorito stuff thrown back at us. So
it is intriguing too. Like, I do want to know where they're taking this. Starting with that cutscene with your character, like kind of talking directly to the darkness in Shadowkeep. Like, it's really fascinating. I can't wait to see, like, okay, we finally get to find out what the darkness is going to be. Is it going to be Savathun? Is it going to be like something controlling Savathun? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, is that the play? Is like Savathun a puppet of the darkness? Or is
Savathun like out? Like, are we just going to like forget like Oryx's sister?
No, there's no way.
There's no way that they would ever not tie up a character that's happened in the past ever. Never.
Well, I think that's what that new strike in the one new strike we got in Shadowkeep is actually like 100% Savathun related. Like as far as the lore is concerned, like that entire strike is just riddled with Savathun.
See, there's the darkness of the
according to
Dorito
the lore
ships,
notes.
but then I feel like Savathun is this other force or entity, right?
Yeah.
She feels like the ultimate, even higher than Dorito ships.
Is she? Is she
Savathun is
more?
higher than Dorito?
I don't know. She seems like she's controlling everyone. Is anytime someone talks to me about anything, they're like, "Oh, Savathun's controlling it." Oh, those other things, that's Savathun. Don't worry,
See,
that's
Do you think Savathun is the darkness, or do you think the darkness is even higher than Savathun?
No, the darkness would be higher because the darkness.
Think about it. 3D space Doritos that are super terrifying that only talk to you in visions in your mind. That's clearly that's worst case scenario, right?
I think the Hive and the Darkness are completely separate. I think like the Hive's doing their own shady shit, 100%. I think the Darkness is the way I've perceived the Darkness from what I've read is that it's this whole new next level of enemy. Like
I always thought the Hive
the
were
shit.
like the servants of the darkness, like they were doing
worshipped
the
it,
direct bidding.
That's
They
what I thought
worship
too.
it. Oh, okay.
They
So that's
worship
actually interesting, right? It's
Yeah.
like they worship it, but they're not like connected to it. Could that be?
Like in D1, like
makes
everything
sense.
was called like an agent of the dark, not agent of the darkness, but like a minion of the darkness or something back when they didn't have it figured out. But like, yeah, I think like they're connected somehow, but I feel like maybe the Hive, if anything, would just be like an instrument of the darkness, like maybe not like a preview of the darkness, so to say. And I feel like they've spun off and done their own shady shit, like Savathun and Oryx kind of beat the system, unplugged from the Matrix, kind of, I think, maybe, and kind of started doing their own shit, in my opinion. Like,
a whole new
started stirring the
faction.
pot.
Yep.
Yeah,
Split off a chunk of Hive.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So are the worms connected to the darkness? The worms that
Worm
the
gods.
Hive get their powers from?
The little worms that we pick up and put indoors.
Well, there's the worm gods. That's like their whole religion and stuff.
What's going on with
Never
your
said worm
doors?
If you don't do it in time, they explode.
They do.
It's like that seems not very well designed.
If
I
I'm
got
not
my god right here,
mistaken,
guys. Never mind.
if I'm not mistaken, the worm was a gift from like the Aham, like the Wish Dragon, and they have to like feed it. It's like this cycle of like the sword logic or whatever. Like,
We gotta get Bife on here again because I don't know. Are the worms the?
I think we're doing great. We're totally on this, guys. We're like lore experts
We're
practically.
on top of this. We're on top of the problem. We're solving it.
listen, if we don't know, chat knows. Okay, guys.
No, don't trust chat.
Always.
Chat will
Always
lead you
trust chat.
astray. Guaranteed.
Chat does not have your best interest at heart. They have their own entertainment.
They know everything.
Apparently,
all-
worm gods gave worms to Savathun and her sisters
Well, that clears
as
it
like
up.
as like a necklace. What are we doing with the worms?
I think it like goes up inside you, and it's like you got to feed the worm, right?
Well, that is exactly it. They got to do all that killing and shady shit to feed the worm, and then the thralls feed it up to the acolytes who feed
Maybe
it up
it's
to
an
the
analogy
knights who
for
feed it.
heroin. Maybe Bungie's just been giving us like an anti-drug.
I think so. Defeat the darkness.
Just say no, folks.
You don't need to keep feeding the worm that is inside you. You can be free from this worm.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be.
Brian,
yeah.
you're thinking of chasing the dragon. That's what you're thinking of. That's the term you're thinking of.
Oh man. That's
Oh,
great.
Is that different?
That's basically the same thing. Basically the same thing.
So back to the darkness and the Dorito ships.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, it's looking like they're culminating this for September release. If they don't actually shed some light on these Dorito ships in September, further than what they already did with Shadowkeep, I'm going to be really disappointed. I'm also going to be really disappointed
Same.
if there's no new enemy that shows
See,
up with the
this is what I'm
darkness.
saying. This is what I'm saying, Tepsi. That's why I keep saying that. I think September is when we're finally going to get like a new element or something.
Yes,
Because the
a
Dorito boys
corruption
are going to
element.
come in. Nah,
Yes.
Hey, and I'd be happy with just about anything. The Dorito boys
I'll
come in.
take anything.
They're different. They got a different power.
Fuzzy.
They're zip, fuzzy
Yeah.
powers. And then we get a new element after we destroy them or something. That's my guess.
Yeah,
It's been a long time without a new elemental attunement thingy majig.
So let me ask you
Been a
this:
long-
do you think
They have been redoing the current ones though, which has been nice.
Yeah, definitely.
but
Not as nice as a new one. though.
yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying. Do you think they're going to, like, if they do introduce a new race, do you think it's going to follow suit in what we've already got, where they have like the
Where it's like a gray hive. He's blue. He's
They're
got a little bit of
hiver.
red on his arm.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Javier.
Like there's these kind of formulas that they've been following, and that they're good formulas. They work, obviously.
Like the
they,
Scorn or even Fallener.
yeah,
Well,
well,
if
like,
it's if,
yeah.
if it's the darkness, like I don't think it takes a physical form. That's why every time like we have visions, it's like talking to a dark version of ourselves. You know
So
what
they'll
I
be
mean?
like spooky boys.
Dark
That's what I'm
Guardians?
saying.
They'll
Dark
be
That'd be
there, but-
cool. Like spooky boys. I like what
Spooky boys.
Watts-
Spooky boys.
Yeah.
Spooky
They're
balls.
there if you no spoilers, but if you play a certain game a certain time, maybe you'll know what I mean.
Mario.
Yes.
Yeah,
Link
100%.
There's so
2,
many spooky
The Legend
boys
of
in
Zelda
Mario.
2.
I'm lost.
I don't know how they would manifest the darkness. I think the best way to do it would just be like some form of like maybe not necessarily dark guardians, but like a dark humanoid
No,
esque figure.
it's definitely Dark Guardians.
Zavala.
It's
It's Zavala.
Valhalla,
It's gonna
yeah.
be some
Dark
ashy
Guardians.
shadow ghost wisp boy.
I'm telling you, Dark Guardians would be so dope and would
It would
make
be.
it very interesting if there was like
It would be.
the suddenly the antithesis of us showing up as the Guardians.
That makes sense too in a lore perspective, right? It's like the light awoke us, so the darkness could awake.
Let it rustle some jimmies.
Jimmy's are rustled.
You know what would be
that's-
very unfortunate if darkness takes over Guardians, and the first one they take over is our favorite emo boy. And he's just come, he's like, oh yeah, I don't know who I am. Hi
Yeah.
guys, I'm cool and a nice person because I have pork chop. And then he gets taken over by darkness.
And
That
then
Yeah.
would be
and then they resurrect Dark Cade.
Wait,
Too
Ooh.
soon.
in this scenario, do I get to shoot Cade again? Because
Too
I'm not seeing that as
soon.
unfortunate.
Briar, you know
wait.
how I feel about this, okay? We've
Cade
talked
again.
about this.
Briar
Yeah,
definitely
dude, no-
mistook.
I'm sorry, I'm a little drunk. I was thinking the guy who shot Cade.
Oh my God,
That's who
Brian,
she's
you're doing it
talking about.
again. You're doing it again. You forgot who Kate is again. This is the second time on the show that you're like,
It's been like 2 years, man. I don't even know who that dude is anymore.
so yeah, Aldrin. Yeah.
That's who Watts was
Aldrin.
talking
If
about.
I
like,
Yes.
Aldrin
Yeah.
again, I'm good.
I was just gonna ask what his part is gonna fit into this whole thing, and man, that would be crazy. Like Watts said, if he finally comes back as the good guy and then ends up getting corrupted, like maybe that's where our new subclasses come from. That
That's
Watts
some bad
wants
luck
maybe
for that guy.
Hey,
like I don't what element we would get at this point.
at this point, for me, I'll take any pathway to get some new elements like that, new subclass dark
Mhm.
elements. Like if there's some
That's it.
blood to be let to have that, if you got to sacrifice something for that, I'm down.
We
I'm
might
willing
have
to make
to
the
start
sacrifice.
dipping into like Pokemon territory and like leaf and water subclasses and
The squirt gun
Lightning.
class.
yeah.
I choose you, Zavala.
Oh, that's great. Well, hopefully that stuff really becomes something in September.
Hoping.
So
Fingers
bringing it back
crossed.
to reality and IRL stuff, we don't know if the whole pandemic stuff is going to affect Bungie's schedule, and we don't know
True.
for sure if September
Yeah.
is going to
We
be a
can
locked-in
only
date.
assume it will, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Assume it will, and then hope it doesn't.
Yeah, that's good.
I feel like
Prepare for
Bungie
the
as a
worst.
company.
I'm gonna assume it will and hope it does less because, like, everything seems to be getting affected by this, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Bungie is, if any company is equipped in this department, I feel like Bungie would be the company to be equipped for it because they have really strong, seems like anyways, really strong policies for how to handle things like this and be on top of their schedule as opposed to having insane crunch hours. So
Yeah, they talked about starting to work from home like in early March. Was that?
They were really quick with pulling the trigger on getting everyone set up to work from home.
yeah, exactly.
It's really
And,
cool.
and I'm assuming that the majority of that content's already built if it is slated for September. So like it would be working stuff out and making sure the content is, all the scripting is finalized for actual production release type of stuff. Because obviously they're not going to suddenly build an entire September release after this season or something.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
that'd be
Yeah.
ridiculous, right?
Yeah, it'd be good to set expectations. My mom always says, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. So
I
hope
prepare for the worst and hope for the medium. The best is completely out of reach.
Briar sets the bar low for disappointment to ease the disappointment.
yeah. So this week
We're not even hoping for Destiny 3 at this point, right? Like that's not even like we're not even thinking that's a remote
Not anytime
possibility.
soon.
Not anytime soon.
we need at
Like,
least one
like-
more year.
Maybe 2021, but probably not, and maybe 2022, but also probably not.
I would say 2022 to be safe. I
You
don't
think-
know.
you
I
think-
think a safe bet is
The way they've worded some stuff about like they said the next it was a TWAB or something. I think they even said like the next year and a half or like next couple years of Destiny 2. Could be mistaken. Could have swore it was in a TWAB several weeks ago, but just the way that they worded it, like, definitely made it sound like we got to.
That Luke Smith article, where
might have been
kinda-
it. It might, yeah, that might have been
Yeah,
it.
probably.
It seems like we got to kind of ride this out for a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Boy, do we ever got to write this out.
Yeah. So I take it. You guys been jumping into any trials at all? Like, what's been going on? I kind of missed last week's episode. I know you guys talked about it a bit last week, but like, what's been going on? You guys not jumping
we
in or
talked
what?
about the tribulations that have been happening on PC with a lot of hacking, cheating, and just unsavory activity that's going on the PC side. And on the bright side,
Yep.
the console side seems to be doing a lot better. And
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually played one card and I played 2 cards on console. And it feels the way Trials has always felt. Like first few games are really chill. You can kind of just chill with your friends and hang out, and then it gets harder, but you don't have to ever worry that someone is cheating. Which is such a good feeling after playing a lot of Trials on PC. And you do have to worry about DDoSing, but it's definitely not as common as someone just installing like an aimbot on their computer.
yeah,
You can go back to your VPN ways too, right?
Yeah, you can do the VPN through console. Obviously, it's a little more complicated to put a VPN on console, but if you do that, then you're experiencing Trials the way that you've kind of always experienced Trials. It feels great over there.
yeah.
Yeah, can confirm. Did first 2 weeks on PC. Had an absolute blast with the boys. We went flawless. It was good times. And the first cheater I ran into, I was like, nah, man. Like,
You're
this
like,
shit
well,
took the wind right out of my sails, dude. I am now stranded abroad. I don't want to be here.
Then abroad.
Yeah, it took the wind right out of the sails, dude. And which is understandable. And then kind of like what Watts alluded to, now it's like it's a fucking witch hunt. It's a placebo. Like, everyone's fucking cheating, dude. That guy hit that shot. He's fucking cheating. How'd that guy hit that shot? He's cheating. Like, everyone's throwing accusations around. Like, it's the Salem witch trials. Like, everyone's calling witch.
Yeah, once you
on each
know
other.
there's cheaters, there could be cheaters. Everybody who beats you is a cheater now, right?
It's like
It just
Hollywood.
makes you suspicious of everything instead of
Yeah.
being like, oh man, that was a really good shot. You're like, watch out for this guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
He's sketching it up.
Yep.
it's like the one tap Hawk Moon thing. It had like a 1 in.
If you see Briar Rabbit in Trials, trust me, you might as well just quit because that dude's cheating.
Just back out.
Just-
He's playing
Just
on a
back out.
CRT monitor.
That's right.
It's not. He's
No
playing on
lag, motherfuckers.
He's playing on a CRT television. He's cracked.
He stretched resin. Oh man, don't run into Briar.
Not only does he have a better gaming chair, but he's got a better monitor now too. CRT television.
Oh
All
man.
hopped up on G Fuel, but like the whole cheating thing. It goes back to like kind of like the Hawk Moon thing. It had like a 1 in 1,000 or 10,000 chance of one tapping someone. But if you ask anyone the previous game, it happened like 10 times. Like, it's the placebo effect of it as well. So I moved over to console. Been having an absolute blast. I miss some of my boys on PC though, but like, I've been playing a lot of Trials with Lego and our boy Litlin on console. And
It's
we
nice
just-
now that if no matter, you can just move your account over to wherever. So it's not like you got to have a separate account. Like
That's super nice.
it'd be nice if crossplay was there, but in this instance, it actually is
Yeah.
protecting us.
Yeah, big time. I thought it was going to be really hard to make the transition back over to console, but I mean, it took me an hour and I was fine.
Nice.
I was feeling pretty comfortable. Was landing snipes, like, and on PC I ape, you know. So I finally got to get back to sniping, which was a huge relief. Like I love doing that on console. Everyone's on the same FOV, the same frame rate, like. You know, you just got to worry about the occasional guy with like, you know, that's better with his scuff than you. You know, like that's about the only advantage you're gonna.
It's got more G fuel in the system.
Yeah, and I understand some people can't make that jump back to the 30 FPS, but like I strongly suggest, like if you really want to play Trials and like you're turned off on PC about it, like definitely try to make the jump back over. And there's tons of good players out there helping, like. Jover-rated, like you guys, that's another person you guys got to get on the podcast is Joey, dude, because not only is he a phenomenal player with a phenomenal attitude, but he's an entertainer while he streams. He's very entertaining to watch, and you know, him and Rhythm.
You know, we've been asking Pope to get him on for what I would say years, right, Watts?
Yep.
I don't know. Pope just won't do it.
He's not like, willing to pick up the hands to write a little text. It's amazing,
right? Just
absolutely
obstinate about the whole subject.
Obstinate. Obstinate bear.
The games are the games are a little slower paced, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it's good to just kind of slow things down instead of like getting punished for like stubbing your toe on PC. Like that's the thing, man. Like on PC, like you miss your jump by like half a second, you know, you can get like severely punished on PC and stuff. So it's nice having a slower pace over there. Like Watt said, DDoSing is pretty rare. We had an encounter where Lighthouse Game, we as we're winning the 5th round, dude or dudette tries to hit me offline, and I still got my loot and my win before it hit me off, thank God.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, dude. So I still got my shit, thank God. And
still got yours.
Wow.
Oh, I'd been so salty, dude, because I sat around and waited all day for the homies to get off, and it was like 9 o'clock at night when we ran our card. And like, so I was so excited to get the helmet last week. But I mean, it sucks that that's kind of a risk you run into, but out of all my friends on my friends list, like I'm the only one that's run into that since the introduction of Trials. So,
well,
I mean,
you are the most toxic person in Destiny.
Yeah,
so
they can smell you a mile away, man.
that's true.
You're like, is that Sweet Dick? Sweet Dick in the air?
Oh, Jesus.
Fire up the
Sweet Dick bringing the toxin.
It smells toxic. It's gotta be him. Oh man. No, but other than that, like I mean, it's been hands down like way better experience, and I imagine it's got to be pretty tough trying to get a handle on that shit.
How do you feel about the loot?
Like, yeah, adept weapons would be amazing. I wish they'd bring back the old bounty system so people could go in, complete bounties, get weapons that help them get better, and invest more time into continuing playing towards maybe getting an adept weapon that has celerity as the built-in intrinsic perk or something like that. It would be great, like, because that was the thing.
That's a good idea.
That's everyone's idea. That's not my idea, dude. Like,
okay.
that's been floating around for.
So you just came up with that?
Time. Oh, Jesus. No, like it.
I can't believe you stole somebody else's idea.
But that's how it was in D. That's how it was in D1, though. You know what I'm saying? Like you went, you got your bounties. I think you could get like, 15, 16, or some umpteen pieces of gear a week across all your characters without winning a single game. And like that's what the drive to go flawless was. Like, sure, it might have just had like snapshot on it, or it might have had something extra, but it looked a little different and it felt real good when you earned it, man. Like, and a lot of people would get their Doctrine of Passing non-adept version taken into trials. It was a great weapon, and a lot of people use that to go flawless.
I jumped up and down in my office when I got Doctrine of Passing. I think you might have been with me.
I was there.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
Like I had been going after that forever.
That was a good meta for you too, man. That gun was your baby. I remember you did.
It was my baby.
Yeah. That was your baby. Remember me, you, and Juice doing late night, no boom, no mercy runs.
Yep.
Yeah. The Doctrine meta. It was good times. And I don't think that's gonna solve everything, but I think that's gonna help with a
One
huge
step
part of the
towards it.
population. Yeah, wouldn't hurt. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. It feels like on PC there's like an exponential dropout that's happening for the okay. I haven't actually played Trials in the past couple weeks because just haven't.
That's part of it.
Yeah, I just haven't been interested after that second week. I was like, this is a different feeling.
Well, once you're confronted by cheaters, it's hard to like, do I really want to invest my...
It's not just cheaters, though. It has to do with the token system. It has to do with the fact that there is no special loot at the lighthouse anymore. Like, once you've gone flawless once, you've technically gotten your loot, unless you're trying to go for the title. But titles are... those are the last thing I'm ever going to chase when it comes to things in this game right now. So, without unique loot, and with the token system being the main kind of generation system to get more stuff out of it just doesn't feel very rewarding. I like the game mode.
Let me ask you this, Tefty. I feel like we knew this going in.
We did,
right?
100%.
Like when we were talking about Trials coming back, and we knew Trials was coming back, right? Like it was all but confirmed by leaks and rumor.
Mm-hmm.
We said there's got to be unique loot, and there's got to be a reason to go to the lighthouse.
Yes.
And there's not. There's not a reason to go to lighthouse, right?
Don't you want your title, Briar?
No, I don't care. I have 0 titles in Destiny, and I have never put in. It's like achievement hunting, as far as I'm concerned. Like, yeah, some people are really psyched to do achievement hunting. Some people want 1,000, the full 1,000 gamer score on a game.
You're not getting your Doctrine of Passion. Your Doctor of Passion does not exist from a title.
If there was a Doctor of Passion available, and it was as good as the Doctor of Passion was, of course I would want it.
Yeah.
Of course I would want it, but there's not.
That's the problem. Yeah, we called it out.
Really good. The summoner is really good. It's a fun
It's a 600 instead of a 900
right now. Yeah, it's so hear me out. Like I'm totally title chasing right now. Next week I see Lego in chat because we're super excited. We just got to get them boots, and we'll have our.
Have you collected every title
for the? No. This is the first one I care about. I've gotten a few other ones, but this is the first one that I'm like, yo, I want that title.
Okay.
Because like Trials was like, dude, Trials was it for me. Like Briar was there, man. He remembers. Like Trials was the end all be all. Like we knew that's what we were doing for the weekend. We were hanging out, sort of thing. And
the rest of the week was to support your character for Trials.
Exactly.
Sure, yeah.
Like I need to.
What can I get? What can I go grind? Can I go grind that Luna?
Yeah, I gotta grind some strikes so I can get the Luna. I gotta grind some strikes so I can get the pulse rifle. I gotta do this. I gotta do that to make sure I'm ready for Trials.
I remember getting piss ass drunk with you on stream farming Omnigul. We got wasted that night because when we got off that night, we were
Briar getting drunk.
I do not remember.
Totally doing the.
This doesn't sound like Briar getting drunk.
Oh, it was on stream. It's fine. But yeah, it was just having beers with the boys or the girls and farming Omnigul, 2 blues or a Grasp of Malik, to take it into Trials. And while there's still plenty, unless you've been playing the game hardcore, I mean, like there's still a few things to grind for that you could take into Trials. But it's just the population, I think, is going down too quick for. It's not even just casual players. Like I hate to say it, like I know some really good players that are like fed up right now and struggling. Like a lot of the guys that I play with, like they're just as capable as going flawless as I am.
What was it? There's something I'm gonna misquote this, but I think it's called skill creep. Is that what it was? That's happening where as more and more of the casual population drops out, then the people who were like pretty likely to go flawless become like less likely to go flawless. So like this weird skill creep thing keeps on happening until eventually you just have extremely sweaty players left. And if you're on PC, it's a whole bunch of cheaters as well that are constantly matching and playing against each other, and it becomes an unfun playlist, just straight up not fun.
That was true. That was true in Destiny 1 as well. Like even in year 1 of Destiny 1, by the end of a season, it would rear its head. Like, okay, like if I'm on a team in Trials, that team is less likely to get to the lighthouse because the skill level required is so high because only the best players, like you might get through the first 3-4 games, but like those last couple of games, you'd only see people who are like famous on YouTube or Twitch. Like that's the only names you'd see.
Well, that's another problem with the token system right now is that a lot of people are just playing their first 3 games and resetting for token
Yep.
farming, and
Yeah.
it's not like the token system itself doesn't bother me. Like, it's just what it's doing to said economy or the player economy. I'd like to see those bounties come back that award weapons, and for maybe you got your 3 wins, you and your friends tried your asses off and you got your 3 wins, but you couldn't get it the next week. You're still getting, your 3-win loot from last week when you turn in tokens.
What's even more
Yep.
heartbreaking is if you can't get any wins. You just spend all your time in there, and you can't turn in any of the tokens that you get because you just got beat by cheaters or people who are like super high level.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
It is rough.
You want in any game, you want as many like non-diehards. Like I want to stray away from using the word casual. I think it gets used a lot. It's not a negative thing. I think it just gets used a lot.
You want your Christmas noobs, right? You want a fresh influx of
Christmas
noobs.
And you want
Right?
them to
It's
stick
like-
around.
Yeah, you want the game to be fun enough that a Christmas noob wants to play till March. And
Yeah. You need them in there, and you gotta
Unfortunately,
give
that's
them a
not
little
happening.
something. You gotta give them a little
It's
something
just-
for their time.
It didn't happen. That's the thing. Like we
No.
had a lot of high hopes and we were super excited about it. And that first week felt really good. I mean, the token situation was a red flag and no
the game
special
mode is
loot.
fun.
Yeah, the game mode's fun and the sandbox is actually fun
Yeah.
too when you're not running into
Yeah.
problems like getting beavered constantly. Like,
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah. It's a
Well, that's the
weird,
thing,
it's
I
like a
think-
perfect storm of things to happen to make Trials feel bad on PC.
Well, then there's also like a perfect storm of like IRL things happening to also make it a shit show to like try to manage the game too. Like everything's
True.
just like it's just a really
Yeah.
bad time right now. Like it's a crazy fucking time to be alive. Like me and Briar were talking about Tiger King before when we were on here, and yeah, it's just what a crazy time to be alive. Like I know you haven't seen it yet, Tefty, but
Carol
Watts-
Baskin
I
killed
haven't
Trials.
seen it.
You haven't seen it yet? Oh man, you guys got to get on that. So that would make
Watts, I
for-
feel like I don't even know you anymore.
I see it and I'm just like, why would I want to watch this?
So I'm gonna warn you, like,
Yeah.
so
Wait,
me-
I want to
everything
say,
I
I want to say
hate.
real quick. One of the reasons why I haven't seen it yet is because memes is like, I don't want to see cats getting hurt or abused.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you straight up, like there are a few sad moments like that, and me and my lady are, we're hippies, we're bleeding hearts when it comes to animals. Like, we
When
love
did you
our.
start referring to Gary Diaz as your lady?
Ever since I met him, dude, he's just got that effect. I think the words "you belong to me now" the first time I met him were said. No, there are some rough moments, but like trust me, these people they get their just desserts. Like they get
Yeah.
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 But it needs to bring awareness, you know what I mean? Like there are some funny moments, there's some great internet gold that has come out of it, but for what that said, there are some serious like what the fuck moments in it.
Yeah.
I think it's just there hasn't been a documentary
That's why I haven't
like
seen
this.
it yet.
I can't think of a documentary that steps to this.
I'm
you know what I
scared.
mean?
I'm scared of the WTF moments, man. That's why I haven't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you. There's for sure. It might not be for everyone, but at least like the first episode's really good because it's more comical, the first episode, and then they kind of start getting into
Nice.
each episode gets progressively kind of darker a little bit, so
Okay.
you can bow out whenever it's too much for you.
When it gets too real,
Yeah.
when it starts hitting the fan. So we've talked a lot about Trials, and obviously Trials is in an interesting point where we didn't. They had made this stuff about how they wanted to stick the landing and bring it back, right? And it's unfortunate
Honestly,
to see.
there's been issues that like a huge issue is the bug that people can't play on Friday and get their loot.
Oh.
Like that kills Friday trials, right? It was Friday comes along, people hop into trials,
big
they get on with
yikes.
their buds in the evening or something to after work to play trials, and it's just that has been a killer as well.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
it.
all the
It's
beavers,
unfortunate.
and then the cheaters are happening. It's been and that's not, maybe if it came out and it was perfect and all we had to think about was, the loot, I'd be like, well, they can add stuff to the loot. Maybe next season they'll like add more things to the loot pool. Cool. But there's so many other things that are happening that's making me be like, on PC, I don't even want to play Trials on PC. anymore.
Yeah.
I feel you.
It's too
I
bad.
don't even want to do it.
The loot chase is definitely the thing that keeps people going. Like I saw somebody in chat talking about how they keep seeing advertisements for $400 to get the whole trials set for a character, which is crazy that's even being advertised. And clearly somebody's buying it because they're still advertising it, which means that if there was legit loot that people were excited to chase, the population would explode. You know? It would, but
Absolutely.
when it's a lot more on the cosmetic side of just collecting some of those things, it I think it suffers dramatically.
Don't pay for a Trials Recov out there, listeners, especially on the PC side. You don't know what somebody, even on console too, like you run the risk of somebody DDoSing their way to the lighthouse with your name tied to it, you know, and you get your loot, you sign in, you're none the wiser, you know, like it's just not worth it.
I paid for one and I got the clap.
You got the clap. Now you're getting medicated for it.
I had to get shots and everything.
I think it'll get sorted out eventually, but I hope it's just not a scenario of too little, too late.
Yeah.
Too little, yeah.
Well, so on the flip side, things aren't going as good either for the PvE component for this season. How do you feel about it, actually?
Yeah.
How do you feel about PvE this season?
Me and Jen, somebody else want to go first?
No, I want to hear your opinion, Wilson.
Yeah.
I want to know.
PvE, I mean, like the Seraph Bunker thing is like cool. Like it was funny watching like you construct the robot and stuff, and he goes and like wrecks the shop down in the bunkers and stuff. Like it's fun. Like the shotgun's cool. The hand cannon's all right. The shotgun's actually really good if you get quick draw Vorpal weapon on it for PvP.
Okay.
You could bitch smack somebody out of their super with that thing real quick. Definitely farm for that.
This week they released the hand cannon, right?
Yeah, it's all right. It's a 180 kinetic, 180 RP. Yeah,
I don't love 180s. Maybe because I don't play on console.
It's not
like they're better on console, right?
100% better. They're more of a console hand cannon.
I can't believe I'm actually like thinking about going back to console.
I know.
Can't believe
Strange.
in 2020 I'm sitting here thinking maybe I should hook the PlayStation 4 up and go back to console.
But for
There's no
PvP,
shame in it, dude.
For PvP, not for like the PvE side. Like
what the fuck ever? It's 4. Like here I am thinking, like no, I don't want 240 frames per second.
I think it's even crazier to think to go back for PvP because it's I don't know. It just feels better on PC until you go against a hacker.
Yeah, it was 100%. In my opinion, a better experience on PC. But man, like going back, I know it takes time for your eyes to adjust, but there hasn't been a single game of Trials that I've lost on console that I didn't feel like wasn't our fault. Like I was like, that was our fault.
Right.
We played that like shit. And it wasn't because, you know, you're either playing hackers, gods, or people who, you know, there's a very crazy spectrum on PC. They're either gods, cheaters, or you just rumple stomp people. Like you just roll the floor with them, or you get rolled. Like there's like no middle ground on PC. It feels like, and it's a shame. Like it'll get taken care of. But man, if you really want to play some Trials, I urge you to try to get back in there. I know it's tough, but
well, I'm gonna be like invading every Discord you're in, Wilson. All weekend I'm gonna be like, hey, what are you guys up to?
Let's do it,
Briar
man.
going back to console? 100%.
Are you actually going to play Trials? Like,
yeah,
legit?
I want to play some Trials, man.
I would love to play on console. That would be, like I said, it would be so funny to see you guys back on console and being like, oh my God, I'm in mud. I can't move.
The last time I played on console was the DCP versus Bungie.
Yeah, we were going against Holtzman. I Nova bombed a wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I was using a mouse on PS4.
This is what I
yikes.
want to see. This is the DCP content that the people need.
Me and Brian
I mean,
was
us
at the
failing
same time.
miserably at everything. But yet still winning. I will say, hashtag undefeated.
Yeah, obviously. Hashtag
You guys
undefeated.
never. I'm gonna say it now. You never gave us the time of day. You never gave us the time of
What
day.
are you talking about? I trash talk to you guys constantly on this show.
And we told you plenty of times, let's do this, but we never got the time of day. But that's okay. I'll admit you guys are the hashtag undefeated. I'll say it here and now.
Oh man.
You guys got lucky on that one because Lego is a beast at this game.
But I want to go back to the PvE side of stuff because I really feel like this season is highlighting some some rough moments right now for the PvE side, because we've kind of been set up to expect things each season that are going to be a little bit more than just like a public event happening. And now we got the Grandmaster Nightfalls that are coming on the 21st. They talked about that in the TWAB. And initially hearing about Grandmaster Nightfalls, I was like, oh, something grindable, right? And the TWAB has absolutely confirmed that this is not something that is going to be like your grinding Nightfall situation. It's for a title. They
well, there's going to be equipment too. You're going to get rewards from completions.
You get a higher chance of exotics and masterwork materials. So basically the same thing as a 1030. And you also check mark off things for the title. That's what you get for the Grandmaster Nightfall.
All right. I understand what you just said. Can you explain that for listeners who might not explain
it to exactly like you're 5 years old?
Yeah, please.
So the Grandmaster Nightfall was going to be 1060. They reduced it to 1050 because they want to make sure it's on a certain thing going on. You're going to have 1025 light level to actually play it. All right, so that's a requirement, and it's also capped as well. So if you're 1030 or 1035 or whatever, no matter how many bounties you've popped to get your XP high enough to have your power level go up, it is going to remain like you're at 1025 for the Grandmaster Nightfall. It is designed to be an extremely difficult, communication-oriented, teamwork type of Nightfall that you complete and check off the list for the title, and it will award higher chances of exotics and masterwork materials, but there will be nothing unique in terms of weapons or stuff that coming from it. It is purely to get the title.
Well said, Tefty.
So, okay. So, you know how there was a bug with the like double loot on the Nightfall? They should make Grandmaster like triple loot drop. You finish the Grandmaster Nightfall, you get a triple loot drop.
This is some big brain thoughts right here.
Yes, I think it should be
IQ 500.
guaranteed. I'm with her on this. Guaranteed exotic, double enhancement prisms and shards or whatever. But like, why not make that like?
Because they're saying this is going to be extraordinarily difficult. Like you're going to have
I want the rewards to be nuts.
You want it to be worth it.
Make it guaranteed.
I'm going to go through the list of what they said about this because I think it's important. Grandmaster should build on master difficulty, but be significantly more challenging. Once you reach a certain bar, the challenge should be found completely in perfecting your builds, communication, and execution. The primary reward should be doled out in initial completion. Completion should be the primary metric for success rather than score or time. Grandmaster should stress the top end of build crafting, and Grandmaster should be watchable. There's some keywords in there that I find it concerning.
You think?
What are those, Brad? Give it to me.
Okay, so Grandmaster should stress the top end of build crafting. I find that concerning, but also rewarding for those people who are into crafting perfect builds. But if there's only one build that gets you through there, think, having a warlock in. Sorry, I'm blanking on the activity, but the one that you went across the bridge on,
Reckoning.
Thank you, Wilson.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little wary of that, but also Grandmaster should be watchable. Like, are we building this just for Twitch streamers?
Yeah, that's the biggest concern right there. It's like, wait, you made a mode and a content or piece of content that's going to be for watchability. So, like, truly a very small percentage are actually going to get this done. Like, that's what I'm reading behind this.
I think it's fine. Like, in this day and age, I think it's fine to create content thinking of, is this fun to watch? And is it fun to play? Because that's what every company is doing now. That's a huge portion of what they're thinking about, but I don't think it needs to be like in the list of top things that they're putting in a TWAB for what they want the Grandmaster to be. Like, of course, when you're designing something and you're in a world that is so heavily focused around Twitch and YouTube and stuff now, and Mixer and everything else, of course you're going to think about that and like, am I entertained watching people do this? Okay, cool, but it shouldn't be the top thing to be designing something around.
It's like saying this game was designed to look good in commercials.
Yeah.
Well, if it
shouldn't have been said in the TWAB.
If it's entertaining to watch, like, people should be excited to watch it because, like, oh shit, like, there's going to be some awesome loot, or like maybe there's something else that like we're not being told about here, but like loot should be the main focus of it. Like you work your ass off, you work hard, you build these crafts. Like Briar said, there's probably only going to be one meta build per week, depending on the Nightfall anyway. But like if it's exciting to watch, like I don't know if it's going to be that exciting if like, you know, people like seeing people get loot. You know what I mean? That's exciting. Like crazy loot drops.
Things are exciting to watch because they're difficult, I think. Like I like watching I like watching good players play trials. I tune into Watts' stream because I like watching her beat really good players in trials. Like I find that to be extremely entertaining. I watch, you know, I'll watch somebody play a raid because I find it entertaining to watch them like play through the raid very well, right?
Right.
But designing around watchability, like what is that exactly? Like who are we targeting with this content?
They're targeting streamers, obviously. Streamers and YouTubers. Yeah. That's pretty obvious. And technically it's an indie company now, so they need to rely on those sources to get people interested in the game still. So that is a thing. It's just when you don't have the type of rewards that are going to be enticing for a large portion of the population, then the response is basically dead in the water because it's like, I mean,
this is kind of a list that you'd hear in a community summit, right? Where you go to Bungie and you go check out the new content, and they're like, "This is what we're doing in terms of crafting this content for you as a streamer and a content creator. We're doing this to make your community get super hyped about it. We're doing this. It's not really something that you put in the TWAB when you're introducing Grandmaster Nightfalls and the things that they're gonna offer your community at large.
Yeah,
that would be loot.
Imagine if Tessa versus stock was in these Grandmaster Nightfalls. So super ball busting difficult content, but you get a drop from the Eververse store. Or a chance, at least. You know? Again, it's not a gun that you actually shoot that you have fun with or an exotic, but still, it's something that is technically you can't get anywhere else. Because
cosmetics that I earn are worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly. Because things that you're going to get from this.
The Chatterwhite is still, to me, like something that like I really remember getting in.
Exactly. Rock. You're not going to be able to get anything from this aside from the titles that you could get from anywhere else in the game, and that's what's disappointing. Like it's only going to be a title type of thing. And another thing that also kind of irks me about this is that they give us the option to increase our light level via XP, all right, our power level. And this is going to be the thing that you increase towards. So everybody's like, oh, I got to get higher level because I need to hit to this point so I can make these Grandmaster Nightfalls easier. And then they just cut it to 1025. So it's like, well, as soon as you hit 1025, you might as well not bother. It's like,
I understand they want to keep it difficult, but they should have this thing as the thing to work towards. Like, this is what you're grinding for, to be able to do the Grandmaster Nightfall and get to the point where you can farm it. Right.
And carry
That's
people.
what you should be reaching for.
Yeah,
and carry people through it. That'll be awesome.
Like Wilson's terrible. So if I want to play with Wilson and get him through, some trials or some Nightfalls, like, I'm going to have to be high level.
I don't understand the logic between making this thing feel out of reach so you have to grind XP and then suddenly completely truncating that grind and making it useless. Being like, well, it doesn't matter.
For explanation's sake, I just want to read this. To attempt Grandmaster, you will need to be power level 1025, which is 15 power above the pinnacle cap, but will be 25 power below the activity, which will be set at a power level of 1050.
Right. So no matter what light level you are going in there,
15 power above
you will
cap,
always be 1025,
but 25 power below the activity, which will be set at 1050.
Yeah, it's meant to it's the whole artificial difficulty thing. But like honestly, like if we're throwing out what ifs here, like what we would like for this season for like PvE, like I felt like this would have been a good opportunity, and I don't know how hard this is. Take the old Nightfall loot, just put it in regular strikes, put some new loot in here for Nightfall. Maybe Master Nightfall was a perfect place to guarantee a drop of like a new gun. You don't have to quote unquote farm for it. Maybe give it like a stagnant roll, like you complete the Master Nightfall, you get a strike specific piece of loot, and then those go back retired. You could farm for those after that week is up, maybe in like the regular Nightfall eventually after a couple seasons. But we need new Nightfall loot. We need strike loot. Like move the
Unique
old
stuff.
shit. Move Mindbender, move DFA, Silicon Neuroma, all that other shit. Just put it in regular strikes. And
I would
then-
love to have a random roll DFA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool too. Yeah, randomize
same.
the rolls and then add some new hot shit that we could farm
I mean,
out
on
of the
Grandmaster,
Nightfalls.
you could, if you took that further and took it to Grandmaster, you could have like a curated roll of that weapon drop from completing Grandmaster. And that would be something fun. You're like, oh, the curated roll this time is really good. Let's go and get that.
Like a
I
curated
think
roll that changes every week.
I mean, that would be super cool, but
That would
just,
be cool.
Just a curated role in general, just to make
Yeah.
Grandmaster be a little bit more exciting. That
Yeah.
this is a role you want, so you can go after it. But I think that's why I'm excited for the future of Destiny, where they said they want to focus more on the content they have in the game, the stuff you do all the time, like the strikes, because I think that's something that we would actually feasibly see in the future, right? Where it's like this update, every strike has strike specific loot. And here's a Grandmaster Nightfall that is going to be adding, curated roles to the weapon for that week of the strike. Like that would be way more enticing for me as a player than just like the new things they keep adding.
Yeah, it's strange, honestly. Like when I saw Grandmaster Nightfalls in the beginning of the season, I was like, cool, that sounds fun. Sounds like it's going to be another jump in. It's going to be rewarding because Nightfalls historically have been rewarding. And then this just seems such a 180. Really disappointed about that.
It is really strange.
I was like going into this when I heard about it that like, it's pretty much just going to be like Trials is pretty much the chunk of the content that we're getting for this season. I was super pumped. I was like, this is awesome. Like PvP players have never had a season revolving around them. And like, I'm not going to lie. Like I was like, we'll just have to, PvE players will just have to be patient. And I can't help but just like feel bad. Like, like that not only did Trials kind of flop, but now like.
It's been years though for PvP players.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
it's cool.
I
that we
think
got
it's
our-
okay for PvE players to take one on the chin.
For sure, but like it also does suck though that when the flagship PvP thing is kind of flopping right now, so like not even that is being, it's we're in a really awkward spot right now. Is basically what I'm getting at. Like,
I don't know, like, yeah, maybe
We got a few months left too. Like this isn't the end of the season or anything. We got
That's why,
two
dude,
months.
I'm so hoping there's some secrets that are about to ramp up, like heading towards the next season. I really hope we get secrets and cool
if the
stuff.
PvE weapons that we're getting last longer than this season, like with the balls that blow up, I can see a lot of people being like, "Oh shit, I wish I grinded for those."
Well, I think that's going to be the play for these Grandmaster Nightfalls is those type of builds.
Probably,
Yeah, those seem to be really strong. So
But
if you
they got to be good. They got to be good next season. Otherwise,
Those
what
aren't
did I
going away,
grind for
though.
last season?
I mean, if you have the mods, they're not going away, and you have the armor, right?
yeah,
Oh,
I
the
think as
season
long as you
events, yeah.
have armor from this season, the previous season,
and
like either
next
the
season.
yeah,
And
I
have
think
the
that's
mods.
And you got to purchase the mods, which I like those spheres, those orbs. You could do. There's a lot of really cool builds that you could do with them. The coolest one that I saw was Data was picking them up and throwing them on the big ogres and stuff. The Seraph weapon orbs that you can drop. Like the biggest complaint I always had about them was placement. One would fall, but the enemies would be halfway across the other room. So being able to like pick one up, throw it on the guy that like you're trying to focus on and stuff, I think is going to be a huge focus of these Nightfalls. Like these mods, like you're gonna have to use them to get through that Grandmaster, especially with that cap on light level. Like they're what is it? What do they call that? Like the contest thing from
Contest.
It's basically
Yeah.
contest rules at 1025. Yeah. So you're always going to be 25 light level under for the Grandmaster Nightfall.
I like that though. Like I like that they're bringing back contest.
I like it
Like,
as
I
a
think that's
toggle, as like an option to be like Grandmaster contest. Like that'd be great. Fine.
Yeah, you're right.
But the fact that like your light level grind for this season, which you were thinking Grandmaster Nightfall, is now useless if you've already hit 1025. I don't know,
What
it
are you
just-
guys up to for light level at this point?
Ooh, I'm not
Let me
even
look at
sure.
Dim.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna
not
look
very
at
high
Dim.
because I've been playing other games like Doom Eternal and all that, and so I'm like at 10, 12 or 13 or something like that. Oh no, I'm
playing
12.
the
I think
Nightmare?
10,
I'm
15.
10-20.
Nice.
You playing on Nightmare, Tefty?
Oh yeah, I finished that Nightmare.
My
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
My man. Oh, I bet you do an Ultra Nightmare now?
No, I don't know if I.
I'm,
I don't know if I can handle that.
20, yeah, right. Yeah, I'm good. My heart. 1020.8 is what I'm at right now.
1020.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to point out though, in this last bunker that they had some cool things on the wall. You guys see that? If you go into the IO bunker,
I did see that.
There's some cool things on the wall, which I think definitely is hinting towards some sort of secret that's coming this season.
Are you talking about this stuff that looks kind of Dorito ship-ish?
Well, there was that, but then there's also
talking about something
symbols.
else?
There's symbols and things that were on the wall.
Oh, okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
Secrets are coming.
So if you go to the IO bunker and you look at the walls in where you actually talk to the Rasputin, you'll see some things in the walls that are like, they look like secret type of stuff and they might mean absolutely nothing.
To talk specifically about, or
not particularly. Like you walk in, it's a bunch of lights on the wall. That's what you're referring to, Tefty?
Yeah.
Like
there's
so there's
symbols.
a bunch of lights on the wall, represents planets, moons, different things. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
war
Yeah, that's what I'm
mines,
talking
different
about
things. Yeah. And there's some new interesting stuff that's kind of popped up since we know about like the space Doritos and stuff. So
Yeah, so there's probably a secret coming. You've read that too,
Yeah.
Fortune.
yeah.
But I will say I would be a little concerned if we get another spreadsheet style secret this season, because given the way how things are going right now,
I can play. I don't want one that I have to watch.
I'm just saying that, like, I don't think a spreadsheet style secret is going to go over as big as it did last season for this season.
No.
I think
won't.
it would
I'm
be
okay
pretty
with it
tone deaf.
happening. I'm okay with a spreadsheet style secret happening. Like, I was fascinated by it, but I don't want to be like out. I don't want to be like left out on another one. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like left out on that one because like I couldn't interpret what was going on.
I feel you.
You know what I
dude.
mean?
I was
Sure.
like, I'm
Like,
way too dumb for this. Yeah.
I like to be able to figure out shit for myself sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, You want the community at large to feel included in that stuff. And the previous
Yes.
puzzle, while it was amazing and an incredible video game event, it was definitely a small percentage of the population that was actively making that thing happen. And a lot of people going, I can't wait to see this done. And I think if that happens again for this season, I'd be concerned.
I think one of those per year is okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
but
a big-
only one,
Yeah. I agree.
or maybe one every 2 years.
Yeah, well, that's why when I see this stuff on the wall, I'm like, that's cool. I really hope that it's not a spreadsheet thing, because yikes.
Yeah.
Well, we've still got the big Cabal chain gun exotic to acquire somehow. So I don't know if we're gonna get that, like
True.
going back to the Almighty. Like if we're gonna have to go back to that, and
We better.
well, we're gonna have to maybe like set up some like targeting beacons for Rasputin, like or something. I don't know. Like but
I'll throw some beacons down.
listen,
we gotta do
perfect-
some Postmates deliveries for Rasputin.
Yeah, listen, we show up, we roll in, we throw down some beacons. Valis to Ark's like big brother comes in with the minigun, and we take him out, and we find the pieces, and we take it back to the gunsmith, and then we run like 50 strikes or something, and we get the gun. I don't know.
50 strikes, yeah.
only
We got to complete 5 Grandmaster Nightfalls within 24 hours.
Yep.
Too soon.
One thing on the top that I wanted to mention before we got off the top was that they are doing a live stream, a COVID-19 fundraiser.
Yes.
And this
Yes.
is pretty cool. Like,
Hell
not
yeah.
only do you have a chance to kind of fund, research and helping other people in a time of need, but you also get some kind of cool shit in Destiny. You get like a new emblem and like a new, like, what is that thing that goes across the screen?
An emblem.
Yeah,
an
an
emblem?
emblem.
You just
I knew
confused me by
emblem,
saying the
and-
thing that it was and then saying, what's it
A
called?
new emblem and like
You know the thing.
a new emblem.
But yeah,
Oh,
it's
Briar.
like
Brian
a
might be a
heart.
little drunk.
Oh, definitely. I'm fully involved in a 6-pack of beer and having a grand time
Fully
doing
involved in it.
Fully involved.
it. Fully involved.
Fully.
I am
And it's-
100% into this.
He is immersed into that beer.
But it's like this orange kind of like heart stuff, and I always like
It
the
is
heart
orange.
stuff because
yeah.
like it lets you like be like, hey, I play a ton of Destiny, but I'm also like kind of casual about it. Like that's my favorite thing about like whenever they do like any kind of like heart emblems.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that's just me.
No, this one's
Yeah,
cool.
it
It's
looks
got,
really cool.
Like fall, autumn colors. It's got the heart. It's got the little medical plus sign inside the heart. So it's I definitely like it. And whoever donates to it gave to a good cause. Like, listen, we've been kind of rough on trials and some other stuff, but like it's times like this, like they do some amazing stuff with reaching out to some of these foundations.
They do incredible stuff. Yeah. I'm very
so
excited
on
to get
Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific, they're going to be doing a stream on twitch.tv/Bungie. And like at that time, they'll kind of tell you how you can earn this emblem. And I'm going to assume it's by donating to the charity.
Certain amount.
Did they say how long that stream's going to be?
They don't say that I can see here.
I really hope it's like more than an hour. Otherwise,
I hope so.
I've set my alarm to wake up and donate because I want that emblem.
Yeah. Bungie, like I've always respected that Bungie does like a good job. Whenever there's anything going on, like,
yeah.
Do you guys remember like back in Destiny 1 days when they did the thing for? Never mind, I can't remember what it was.
Nepal.
Nepal.
Yeah. Thank you, Watts.
Briar's 100% into that six pack.
I was waiting to see if it would happen.
Thank you, Watts.
What's that thing, when you start glowing? You're super. Yeah, you're super. That's, when you pop your super.
Do you guys want to do some Twitter questions?
Yeah.
I think so,
Sure.
yeah. Did we cover everything in the TWAB? It wasn't very big of a TWAB, but
It was not a huge TWAB.
Iron Banner's coming back.
Oh, yeah, the banner. Iron Banana next week.
Some error codes. Yeah.
Yep. Anything? There's nothing new with Iron Banner, right? It's the same stuff.
Did Lego get movie of the week this week?
Last week.
Last week.
For real, last week.
All right, Twitter questions. Briar, are you capable of doing Twitter questions right now?
They're gonna be great.
Dude, I'm the most capable.
I don't know if Briar should drink and Twitter at the same time.
That's the only way to Twitter.
That's true.
That's how I made that tweet about Carol Baskin killed Epstein.
That's true. The internet's not ready, Briar.
Mr. Good Cloud says, revolver?
Revolver.
Revolver?
I think we need to do a reunion episode. We need to get the boys back. We'll see.
Some guy named Lego, never heard of him, says, on a scale of 1 to Carol Baskin, how guilty is Wilson of being toxic? Say full-on Carol Baskin.
Full Carol?
A full Carol.
Wilskin.
Oh, Wilskin.
Like
what part of the anatomy is the Wilskin?
Please.
It's the part that you get cut off.
Is that what they circumcise?
Yikes.
Yikes, man.
Attack cast. Good Lord. Oh, good Lord.
Justin Woodruff says, this season is the first time I haven't purchased a Destiny DLC or Season Pass. I don't play PvP, and the grinding of temporary vendors isn't enjoyable for me, so I purchased Xbox Game Pass and have played through both Ori games and Outer Worlds so far. Sea of Thieves next.
Wow.
Tips? Question mark?
On Game Pass?
On Sea of Thieves.
Oh, Game Pass is pretty dope. He played Ori, Outer Worlds, and Sea of Thieves on Game Pass.
I think sounds like you're having a great time.
Yeah.
I don't know what I think those would be my first recommendations.
If you're looking for tips in Sea of Thieves, whatever you do, don't let Briar take the helm. Our first ship that we took over when we played Sea of Thieves, we all jumped off our ship onto the enemy ship as it was sinking. And I'm pretty sure Briar said that he was going to stay. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. As he was firing himself out of a cannon, no doubt.
Yes, basically.
I can see it happening.
The first ship me and Briar took over, me, Briar, Gary, and all of us, Beastly, we all jumped off our own ship onto the sinking enemy ship, and we were all cheering. So yeah, just don't let Briar
He'll also
get
try
behind
and
him.
kill you, so generally just stay
Many
away
times.
from Briar as a pirate. Pirate Briar is
Yeah, I will say
a
though,
stressful friend.
like Briar being so devious makes it easy to pin things on him. So
That's true.
I'd find certain explosives, hide them. I had Fran 100% convinced that Briar did it.
That's true. That is true.
It was amazing.
No one ever suspects me of anything. It's fantastic.
That is true.
That is also true.
We all think Watts is innocent. Meanwhile, she is laughing hysterically with her chat about the shit she just pulled off.
Listen, say what you want about Briar. Briar can attest to this. All I do is drink ale and throw up on people the whole time. Do you remember that, Briar? That was absolutely worthless in a gunfight. Can't even walk
Fran
straight.
would love you. You should come on a trip with Fran.
Fran's a big fan of that.
Briar and Gary are like, I think we need to have an intervention for Wilson down here.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Gary and Beasley. I love you guys.
Yeah, man.
Justin Wolf says, never mind. Nate91 says, with the recent job posting on Bungie's site looking for engine engineers, do you think we could be looking at a new engine or update to the engine? How big would a new or updated engine be for Destiny 2?
It's hard to say because I think we know of at least one game that they're working on that's not Destiny.
True.
So it could be that they're even getting people in to make an engine for a new IP. So it's really hard to say if it's Destiny related.
Yeah, so
but we can pretend it is.
Yeah, we're obviously have no insight on the development of Destiny or the engine, all that. So this is obviously pure speculation.
I'm willing to make shit up. Like,
well, if they are going to make a new release, if they're going to make Destiny 3, and I would imagine a smart move would be to make the engine as tip-top shape as possible for a new entry, a new title into the franchise. Yeah, it would make sense if they're hiring people to help expand on that, right?
Yeah.
How likely do you think it is that they would just stick with the same engine and not do anything?
Are you saying for Destiny 3?
Yeah, for a new title. Destiny 3.
No, Destiny 3 needs a new engine, at least an updated.
Yeah. It's extremely unlikely that we would have the same engine with just to face the same problems like further down the line.
Yeah. That's what I think too. There's some people who don't think that.
It's got to be updated. I mean, you look at the jump from D1 to D2, and I mean, like, it was updated, right? Like, it's not the exact same engine.
It was modified, yeah.
Yeah, it was modified.
Yeah.
That's why some of the same bugs happened that were in D1 that they fixed down the road that were still in D2, because at some point they split the branch, and the Destiny 2 development was way farther down the line, so they couldn't just patch all the things that they had patched over there.
Gotcha.
They almost have. I'm saying this as somebody who is completely ignorant. They almost have a free pass for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, in that they have the PC version that they can port to the next generation of consoles. So, like, is this for like a next generation Destiny 2? Is this for Destiny 3? Or is this for an unknown game that they're working on?
Maybe all of those.
Maybe.
Definitely an unknown game, and I would say Destiny 3 as well. Like,
I think it's for their new Pokemon competitor.
Dude, don't tempt me with
Pokestiny.
Pokestiny.
Destamon.
Can I collect Zavala?
Yes. I also will say though that with any kind of engine work, this is like major overhaul type of stuff for game development, as you've seen in the past from other companies. If they switch engines mid-cycle, like, that is usually a 2-3 year delay. So if they're just now hiring, hopefully it's not because this is talks now, because that means it's definitely way farther down the road.
That's not something we're going to see in September.
Well, it could
Exactly.
even be that, they already had an engineer and she moved somewhere else and they just needed to hire someone else.
That's
Totally.
true.
Yeah, that's
true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good point.
Or that person just needs an extra hand. You know what I mean? Extra set of eyes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, building an engine's a huge thing, and updating an engine is a huge thing. I mean, you could screw everything up. I think we're in it for the long haul with this engine for D2.
Also, Steam engines are a huge thing. They're gigantic.
Massive. They have a lot of, PSI? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of steam.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of steam.
Yes.
Wilvin says, if you are only playing for fun, only in fun being in caps, what is your loadout, PvP and PvE?
For me right now, Xenophage. I go full I don't even care about my the other 2 slots. Like I legit, it's like, yeah, whatever I need in there. I build out specifically for machine gun ammo. So I have machine gun ammo finder, I have reserves, scavenger, and also storm of lead. So I'm getting extra super energy. And I'm usually on my hunter, so I'm using I'm dodging to reloading. And it's great. It's fun. In fact, a lot of people will be like, what gun is that? That looks so fun. Because it is fun. It also requires very little aim because you just shoot at the floor and kill a bunch of things.
Xenophage is great.
Mm-hmm.
Is a monster right now.
It is
It's
fun.
actually really good.
Swords in PvE are
That's what I was
going
gonna
to
say. Quick Fang.
I just just sit on the sword. Sometimes I throw on some anime music and walk slowly
Yep.
through pretty areas, and I'm like, oh yeah,
Yep,
this is the life right here.
I run majestically, but you know,
There's
to each his own.
There's your movie of the week, Watts. Start
Yes.
recording.
Yeah,
If Destiny 2 was an anime, there you go.
it's just me with a sword in various different parts of the world.
Yeah, do you get some PvP HUDless clips? Like it'd be funny, it'd be fun. That's swords hands down, Quick Fang. Especially when you run into overload champions right now, because you can just destroy them with your sword. A lot of barrier champions also can't handle the quick fangness if you can, do like 3 or 4 quick attacks, follow up with your, heavy attack. It's very satisfying. This is gonna sound so bad. PvP for having fun, man. I have finally been caring about like my armor and my rolls, so I've been running 100 mobility, 100 recovery, and 70 to 80 intellect on my hunter, and I've just been pairing that with spare benders, just running around so fast, dude. Throwing some stompies, dude. You are so fast with 100 mobility, and you get to dodge a lot.
Spare rations and my benders, huh?
Yeah,
For fun.
or if you don't want to use stompies, you could throw on the worm husk because you're gonna have your dodge every 9 seconds. So it's I don't know.
For fun,
I'm finding it. Yeah, spare bender, dude, for fun. Listen, when I play PvP, man, I play to fucking win. All right, dude, I'm toxic.
Turns out being awesome is fun.
Winning's fun, man. If I ain't winning, I'm deleting the game off my hard drive.
I don't know if you ever tried it, but being awesome is cool.
I play to win, all right? Deep down, I'm all like, yeah, man, I had fun. It's all about having fun, but we win. Damn, no, I'm kidding. It's on console, I've had a lot of fun getting back to different snipers. The new Trial Sniper is a lot of fun. I got a snapshot opening shot one, which is
nice.
Yeah, I got a snapshot celerity one as well, which is they're fun.
Wilson sniping is the most fun thing that ever happened because every time he hits a headshot, he goes, "Ew!"
It's not.
You just got the sweet dick.
He's over exaggerating. Sometimes it's more of a
No,
surprise.
I am not.
Now, Briar, it's we hit those. That's what all the kids are saying now.
That is the cool thing to say.
Yeah, that's the new thing. We hit those, bro.
Pedro VCM says, "What do you guys think about the 7th Seraph weapons? I'm having so much fun with the hand cannon and shotgun in PvP."
These are the new weapons that came from the bunkers.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hand cannon and shotgun specifically. But what do you guys think about the 7th Seraph weapons?
I like that they make shiny orange balls.
Yeah, are you having success? Watts, you always have success. I can put a potato and a cucumber in your hand, and you're gonna rock it. But like, what do you guys think?
I'm washed up on PC, Briar. I don't deserve to be there. I gone back. I've left.
She's
It's over.
washed up, dude. That's the biggest
Going back
lie
to
ever.
the PS3.
PS3, yes. I'll go back to PS3. I'll go play D1.
Playing that
D1
Taken King meta.
Yeah.
Rise of Iron.
I'm not even playing the current patch on D1. I'm going all the way back.
I heard that's still the sniper meta on the PS3 and Xbox 360.
Still there.
It's still sniper meta. No, I just got the machine gun. I got it with what the hell does it have on it? Firing line and clown cartridge, and that's a lot of fun, dude. So instantly when I get ammo, I shoot one shot and reload it so that I get the clown cartridge popped, and it's pretty cool. Like, it's obviously no like xenophage. Like, I'm not gonna do like boss DPS with it, but like if you're running with the pack, like your friends in a strike, and you're saying, relatively close to your 2 fire team members, like yeah, it shreds people.
Is Xenophage now a boss DPS kind of gun?
Yeah. It's
Yeah?
the play. It's like the meta for
This is
a
meta
few
now,
rounds.
Xenophage?
Yeah. If
Okay.
you go do the
So
raid,
if I want
I need to
if I want
clarify.
to be like competitive in the next raid, should I go get a Xenophage? Because I haven't gotten it.
I need to clarify. When I mentioned
although it might
Xenophage,
get sunset.
I've been using Xenophage since it got buffed, which was
Here we
back.
go.
Listen,
Yes,
Jesse.
absolutely. I need to throw a little asterisk on this and be like, I was
Here we
hip.
go.
I was
I
hip
didn't
before
realize
you
we were
guys
a hipster up in
started.
here.
Before you guys started encroaching on my
I wore my
Xenophage
hipster hat
territory
and
here.
everything.
Yeah, I started
knew
when they
it was-
buffed it, which was either late February or not February. It was late November or early December. That's when I started busting this out, and people were throwing shade at me. They're like, "Xenophage, why, bruh?" I was like, "Do you see what's happening on the screen, bruh?" And it's still my go-to.
Listen, Fortune nailed it. Tefty, the Xeno hipster now.
Yes,
The
I
Xeno
concur.
hipster.
Dakota says, has anyone had a chance to use the 7th Seraph hand cannon or machine gun? If so, thoughts. So the hand cannon or machine gun.
Machine gun's good if you get good rolls on it. Clown cartridge firing line, like I was saying, is fun. I have not used the hand cannon in PvE or PvP yet.
I don't love 180 hand cannons. It's a 180 hand cannon, right?
Yeah, they're nice for controller. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I can definitely use them on controller, but on PC, it just there's not really much of a place for them.
D-Rock says, when do you guys think Destiny 3 is coming out? September after new consoles launch, or keep
Wait.
adding to Destiny 2 forever?
Did this person really say that Destiny 3 is coming out in September right after the consoles launch?
September after the new consoles launch, so I would assume they mean 2021.
Yeah, I feel like that's not happening.
2021 is not happening.
I don't feel like it.
No, I'm not optimistic about that date.
No.
I don't honestly. I don't want it
I really
to
don't.
be that soon. I mean, I don't know.
Really?
There's a lot of,
Oh
lot
my
of things we got to get worked out, man. We've
Like a
heard
year and a
nothing
few
about
months?
it.
A year and a few months, like that's too early.
I really want it to happen in 2021.
It just depends on like we see. Like I don't know. That's the thing. Like I'm ignorant to this whole thing. I don't know the situation behind the screens. I don't know how much time is spent on season pass development versus Destiny 3 development. I don't know with them having to change their game plan every time we're not satisfied with something sets back the next game development. Like, 'cause we're never fucking happy about anything. So like, they're constantly like walking on eggshells, like trying to think of the next best thing to create. Like I don't envy it, but
Let me ask you this, Wilson.
No.
Do you think a Destiny 3 is coming?
Yes.
Or do you think we're
100%.
just going to have, like, Destiny 2 is just going to become like a Destiny Unlimited or a Destiny Forever?
Eternal.
No.
Eternal.
Destiny Eternal. I think I would wager a large lump sum of money that like we're eventually going to get a third
Hey,
iteration of this.
Bethlehem lathe.
GL50.
When would you put a date on it? Like if you were to put a pin in a calendar, like here's when I think Destiny 3 is going to come. There's nothing on it. Like nobody's going to remember this and like call you out on this podcast and Twitter.
On episode number 183 on DCP with Sweet Dog Willie.
That's a fucking trap. Are we going Price's Right rules? Like you can't go over?
Yes.
I'm gonna say 2022. What season though? Man, that's tough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spring or fall, not summer.
I mean, it's got to be fall, right? It's got to be fall.
Does it have to be though?
It doesn't
Good
have
games
to be,
come out.
but historically, it seems like it's a September thing.
For sure. I mean, I could see if they wanted to keep that theme going, but maybe they're like, "Damn, this shit's done. Like, we're ready to roll it out, spring 2022."
They're independent.
I mean, you're your own boss now, so like,
Yeah.
hey, it's not ready for September. Let's put it out in March.
They technically could. It's a tough one because if they're gonna maintain the course with D2 for a couple years, like they gotta change some things up. Like it can't just
Like
be
what?
going after 150 hand cannons for 2 years. You know, like that.
Yeah.
That's just
that's why I've made the comment about like I'm okay, I'm down with sunsetting weapons, but if you replace the sunsetted weapons with the same archetype, that's not interesting at all to me. Even with like different perks.
So if
you replace a 150 hand cannon with different perks that are as good or not as good as the current perks, then I'm not interested at all. I feel ripped off. Like now I've got to do a bunch of work to get a weapon that's not as good as the weapon I had.
So if they double down with this idea of like the Warmind cells type of build and expand that further and put it into guns as well. I've been saying this for a while, how I think the perks on weapons need to go a little bit deeper and have like the energy bar type of thing with armor has the energy bar to have like some customization. I think weapons need that same type of thing to make some interesting builds go further, and they need to simplify it for PvP so it doesn't become, oh god, what happened to PvP? Like just keep that out of there. Like just have these cool builds happen for PvE and then release it with some interesting content like they did with Shadowkeep. I could see that happening, but I really worry about the population experiencing atrophy over just chasing the same style of loot over and over and the same perks, whether it's reload, damage, like that. You're definitely feeling it. If you've been playing the game for 5 years, you feel it. You're like, it's feeling very familiar. The same stuff.
That's why I would really like for them to lean into the whole what they have with Warmind cells and go further with that, because I think that's where they can have something really unique and exciting. Maybe go more RPG rowdy and have builds and classes that feel unique, and then have these things like Warmind cells that you build on. I think then you could make Destiny like a very, very interesting and fun place. Honestly, even PvP would do really well if Bungie leaned into the classes being different and then added more like objective based modes. Like they could add, even Rift, King of the Hill. All of a sudden, the healing warlock doesn't need to be the exact same as the slaying hunter. You can have a healing warlock be balanced in a mode like that because they have a place now. They can defend the King of the Hill. Whereas if you just have Slayer game modes, it's like, how can my healing warlock be the exact same and balanced as a slaying hunter? It's just not gonna work.
Dude, I'm glad you brought that up. Lego and my friend Mr. Tomfoolery, they've been playing the healing class on Warlock when we go into trials. And when I ape with shotguns, they have bailed me out on so many plays with their healing.
They're giving you a stimulus nade.
Yeah, it's
bro,
really
that
good.
overshield in the middle of an ape fight is so good. And on top of that, I can also dodge and get a little chunk health back too, man. It's so cheap, but like you can't help but like tip the hat, like to players that are playing that way, because it's a very niche play style, and you have to not only like be there to team shot, but also pay attention to like if your teammate has the exclamation point above their head.
Yeah.
What's your loadout right now, Wilson?
Me?
Oh
my god, I'm gonna get so much hate for this, dude. Like I roll, me, dude. I roll meta, man. So hard light fucking Revoker. Like come at me. All right. If you're not, I'm sorry. I'm sick of it.
What subclass on the hunter?
The Spectral Blades, or last card, I finally for the first time used the twirly deflect arc subclass, and holy shit, is that a lot of fun and strong too. Especially for going against other supers. Like, I mean, if anyone just shoots one bullet that you deflect, like you get a huge increase to your super's damage output. So it's really good for shutting down supers, and that's a lot of fun. Spectral Blades. It's good. They're not as fun on console as they are on PC, though.
Blink 148 says, okay, caveat to this question. I usually don't single out a particular person on the podcast for a question, but I found this one to be interesting. So, Watts, I remember you saying you were trying trials on console after the big wave of cheaters swarm PC. How did it go?
So it's definitely, even though I couldn't see for the entire time, when there's a bunch of people that get close, I'm like, I don't know where anyone is. I can't see. I'm just gonna like jump around and shoot stuff and hope something hits. Even then, it felt like a more enjoyable experience than PC, because you have that same ebb and flow that you get used to in what trials used to be of, oh, it's the first few games. Cool. We're chilling. We're hanging out. and then you go to the it gets more difficult and more difficult. There's that progression there, whereas on PC it's like game 1 feels the exact same as game 7. They all feel the same. It's the same feeling across the board. And then you're of course dealing with cheaters and all of that stuff as well. But I'm for sure in the feeling of I am going to play Trials on console. Maybe I'll play on PC just to play with some friends. But in terms of trying to go flawless and really play the game mode, console really is kind of the place to be.
Zombie What a Life says, what if they did a Destiny universe instead of Destiny 3? That way they could bring in old and new content to satisfy everyone, or only use certain planets per season.
No.
No, I don't know. Isn't that kind of the problem we're facing right now? That like they have to already take stuff away that they've added in before. Like the game can't, like we can't keep adding shit to the game.
Can't keep ballooning,
like, sort of thing. Yeah, and that's kind of why I think that like a Destiny 3 is inevitable, because I mean like we can't keep adding like yeah, we've had some duds, some things that we're excited to see leave, but you know we've had things like Menagerie that like we would like to see expanded and built upon, and then like there will be more like smash hit success content things that we want to see stick around, and not all of it can, you know, like
also
it's just inevitable.
I want to go outside of the solar system. Like that's for D3, that's a big thing for me. Like I don't want to be in the same locations for the rest of the Destiny franchise. I want to see it expand, and that again means that they have to add new content that eventually is just going to balloon way past the file size, so it has to be new stuff on there. But that being said, I'd love to see Venus come back. I want to go to Venus. I miss it. Asylum was great.
Oh, that was a great map.
I just threw the next 3 questions in the chat so I could go run to the bathroom. Be right back.
Okay.
He broke the seal.
That's that beer bladder kicking in.
Briar's beer bladder.
Briar broke the seal.
Let's see.
Do you want me to do the first one?
Yeah, go for it.
So question is from Wilvin. I'm really enjoying Firing Range. Fallout is great. Would love to hear more from him on the regular show.
Solid
It's not
question.
really a question, but thank you.
Man, that's
I agree.
thought-provoking.
Fallout is great. Fallout has a lot of in-depth opinions because he goes in deep with the game and gets the facts about stuff. So he's great, and he's a great guy, and he's really good at doing podcasts. So I agree, he's great.
It's like really
Firing Range is good.
It's really good nerdy stuff. If you're a big time Destiny nerd, it really hits home. Like talking about like the pixel size of all that stuff. It's great.
Firing Range is great too. Good addition.
Yeah. Sonic NG23 says, with all the Siva stuff popping up in game and Rasputin involved, anyone down for a Siva subclass?
Okay, you know what? I haven't been super excited about Siva coming back, but a Siva subclass could actually be kind of interesting, like controlling nanites.
You build up like 29 nanites and then you unleash some ability.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
It's a pretty limitless possibility there as well. I mean, because like nanites can become whatever they want. You can some wacky stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. We were just talking about we were wanting new subclasses. So yeah, hell yeah, Siva it up.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't want a Siva subclass. I want like a darkness subclass or something
but
cool
think
like
of the
that.
nanites.
I don't care about the nanites. The nanites were like a one season kind of thing in Destiny 1.
No,
but
they're
if
in.
you had the nanites.
They're on the Outbreak Perfected, man.
I did have the nanites. They were like flowing all over me.
No, what if they did? What if they attacked people, Bright? What if you could imbue yourself in a nanite aura and then you go near people and they attach to them and then you hear them eating and screaming?
You're making a strong argument.
Yeah. You could release like a flow of nanites out of your hand that just swarm things. Like, that'd be amazing.
What if you're like a crayon-eating titan and you pop a bubble that's infused with nanites and it's just chewing away inside? So you pop it on like an enemy or something and it's like DPS, DPS, DPS. No.
Or they shoot out of it if people get too close to it. They start like
they
they have a little guard dogs, little guard nanites.
This is brilliant.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Ringo the Dingo says, in season 10 we got the 7th Seraph weapons. What happened with the weapons of the other 6?
Don't know enough about the lore, but I know that 7th Seraph is a faction, and there we go. That's all I know. Next
question. Pedro VCM says, What are you guys playing lately? I'm starting the Uncharted series with my wife. Got 1 through 4 from PS Plus.
Nice. It's a fun series.
It's a super fun series.
Been playing
Hell
some
yeah.
Animal Crossing. You know, it's a chill game. It's like, you know what? You know what was a great night last night preparing for an early morning of Final Fantasy VII? Took a shower, put on a face mask, put on my bed jet so it was all warm and cozy in my sheets, played Animal Crossing till I fell asleep. It was the most comfy, best time. That's what
That
Animal
sounds,
Crossing
I
is
mean,
good for.
You painted a picture there.
That
And it
game
was a
is so-
comfortable
It was
picture.
so comfy.
that game is so relaxing. So I would go back and forth from Doom Eternal to a little bit of Animal Crossing, and you talk about two. Like I said, I felt fast and quick and agile after playing Doom, and I just want to chill and relax when you're playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
So
Animal
it was a-
Crossing really forces you to slow down. Actually,
yes,
forces
great.
you to take it slow.
I've been really,
I'm
I've been
playing
close. I've been
fun.
on the edge of like picking it up and playing it.
Hefty.
I
The
think you
people
should,
want
Tefty.
Animal
Yeah.
Crossing. It's like Planet
I want a
Coaster,
Tefty
but
stream of
Animal Crossing. We need it. This is
I
what we
really
need.
do.
I demand
I'm
it.
never going to play that game, but I would love to watch you play it.
Yes, I'm telling you.
How do you
Hefty,
farm
take
in there?
over the Animal Crossing community.
How do you farm?
You walk around and pick shit up, man.
You pick it up, you shake trees, you
Yeah,
fish,
you can
you go
buy stuff,
catch
you
sell it.
tarantulas on Tarantula Island, which is
Yeah.
very scary. I'll be
I've
honest.
seen some
You-
Twitter clips.
It's
Made me jump.
terrifying.
You could take a plane to your viewers' islands, and they could, you know, they
Whoa,
might have
whoa, whoa!
orange.
Social distancing, man.
They can just drop stuff for you at the airport. You can pick it up, go home.
Your island might have oranges. They could have peaches. How else you gonna get them peaches, dog?
I might just have to sacrifice and be like, no peaches, man.
And
Unless they have
No
pineapple.
peaches.
no peaches.
If they
Millions
got
of
pineapple,
peaches.
I'll visit for pineapple.
Sam says,
I
Go
was
ahead.
just gonna say I've been playing like all the regular stuff, you know, Doom Eternal, and I played RE3 and finished up Ori, and excited about Final Fantasy 7. Yeah,
It's amazing.
Same. I'm gonna play it when we get done.
I want to wake up really early and play it for like 12 hours tomorrow.
are you going to stream it?
Oh, yeah. I streamed
All right.
for 6.5 hours today of it.
I
Oh, you-
tuned in for.
Oh, you started it today?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
tuned in
going to
for
be
a quick-
watching your yesterday stream.
VOD.
Your
I'm going to
game
watch
high.
your VOD
I have you
tomorrow.
know, I got very excited playing darts in Final Fantasy. That was a
Yeah?
good time.
Oh, at the
Mm.
Well,
bar.
Darts is a good time.
Yeah, at the bar. Playing
Yeah,
darts at the bar.
I saw the. I tuned in for just a quick minute because I didn't want any too many spoilers. But I saw the cats that you ran into
There's
in the
so
town.
many cats.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Everything is interesting from what I've seen in that game. Like even like
Yeah.
the cats running around in
Cool.
the town where I can't wait.
Yeah.
What I like how you feel about combat. Like when you talk about the feel of combat, I dig what you say, and I agree with.
Oh, why, thank you.
What did you think about the combat?
I think combat feels great. You know what's really
Yeah.
cool about Final Fantasy? You can choose to play classic mode, and it's the same difficulty, but it's more of the like turn-based instead of having like hack and slash mixed with turn-based. Or you can choose to have the hack slash mixed with turn-based.
Hmm.
And it's I think that both feel really awesome. They both I love the way that they did combat, honestly. I think maybe some people will find the controls a bit weird to get used to initially because you're like hacking and slashing and then switching to use abilities and items and all of that. But I think they did great. I've loved it.
Who's your favorite to play like right now? Like who's one of your favorite characters to fight
So I've
with?
only controlled 3. No spoilers, of course, because these are all characters that were in 25 years ago. But Tifa is really fun to use.
Has it been 25 years?
Tifa is really fun. Hasn't been. When did it come out? It's been a long time.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
was
a
trying
long
to think about
time.
those.
7, I want to say.
Yeah, it feels like 96,
1997.
97.
Yeah, 1997.
Basically 25 years.
Long time. Tifa
23.
is very fun.
Yeah.
Close.
Fastly approaching 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's super fun. You just
Yeah.
you slap things everywhere. You do drop kicks. She just feels really fun to play.
A lot of the stuff I saw online, she looked like she'd be the funnest to play, doing
She
like
is
the
super
uppercuts and acrobatics and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, in
Hell
high
yeah.
def, Tifa looks kind of ridiculous with the knee-high red boots and like the leather vest with nothing under it. Like
Tifa looks like because you're in a city where none of the other people look very ridiculous. They look kind of just
Yeah,
like
normal.
people.
Yeah, like
Wearing
suit and tie
kinda-
kind
Because they're in the slums, right? So they're wearing clothes that you'd see in the slums and Tifa's walking around. It's classic. I wonder who the main anime character is. It's a classic one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
situations.
Yeah. Nice. That's my favorite.
Classic.
That's awesome.
Sam says, what are some of the best single player games to play right now?
Final Fantasy VII.
Did we do
Yeah.
that one already? Is that a repeat?
Did I? No, I thought I was talking maybe.
Chat, is that a repeat? Chat knows everything.
I think you said what are the games you're playing right now, and then
And now this is one of
okay.
the best single player games right now.
Yeah. Different question.
I'm sorry,
Sweet
dude.
dick.
Sweet. Whoa. Passive aggressive right there.
I've never said sweet dick with hate in my heart before, and I'm sorry I
such
did it.
disdain.
That was great. That was good.
I'd say if you just got a PS4, some of the big ones, God of War, Bloodborne, Spider-Man's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All of that.
yeah, I really enjoyed Death Stranding. I did. I know some
Death Stranding is great.
some
It
people
is
are
a
like
good game.
they're like,
RoboCop versus Terminator.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now we're talking.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna talk about the classics. Dreadnought says Gordon Ramsay has to
God.
use your kitchen. What are the things in your kitchen that will instantly make him angry and start yelling?
Probably the state of my oven, I'll be honest.
Why? What's going on with your oven?
I ain't getting up in there and cleaning it all the time. I let
Doesn't it have
happen
like an
outside.
automatic clean function?
Yes.
Still got to use it, right?
Got it.
You have to press the button to auto. We have to take the stuff out of the oven to auto clean
Yeah.
it. I was like, I have to take it out? No.
You hit
ventilation to do
thousands
that?
of buttons a day.
No. I can hit the button. I'm not taking out all the other stuff. I thought I could just hit the button and it would clean it. No, you have to take everything out. No.
What is in there?
It's too much effort.
What do you?
The
what's in
grill grates thingies.
there? Oh, you gotta take those out.
Yeah, for mine, you have to auto. If you want to do auto clean, you got to take everything out. That's
Can't
too
be
much
bothered.
work for auto clean. Lied to.
When I
think you
first
need
moved
ventilation,
into my
too.
house with my wife, she was keeping newspapers in the oven. Like
4?
Was she
Just-
turning them
that's-
on?
that's something that we haven't figured out yet.
Is she like? Is she replacing cooking sheets with newspaper or?
Warming
So
up
I
the local
preheated
news.
the oven because I wanted to use it, and there was smoke and fire.
Gosh.
Did she just not use the oven and it was just like, here's where I keep the stuff I don't want to deal with yet?
No, she used the oven, but she knew, like, if you're gonna use the oven, I got to take the newspapers out of the
Why
oven.
are they in there in the first place?
Yeah, hold
That's
up.
a good goddamn question.
Hold up, Briar. Did you just preheat the oven without looking at it though?
Ooh, dangerous.
Why would you
Yeah, no,
store
no, no,
anything
no.
in the oven?
Sometimes you
No,
store
dude,
pans in there.
Look, I was coming into this situation having been a single dude. I knew what was in the oven, right? Like, because nobody else was fucking with the oven, right? So I rolled up into a situation where there was multiple people in the house. I'm like, I'm gonna preheat the oven because, like, who would keep newspapers in the oven?
Nobody.
Yeah, newspaper is weird.
I can only imagine your bachelor ass oven with just one cooking sheet in there because there's only one thing that's being cooked in there: fucking pizza. Let's be real.
Right?
It's the only
Pizza
thing you're
and
throwing up.
nugs.
Yeah, it's the only thing you're fucking cooking as a bachelor, dude. Everything else
Yeah.
is ramen, and that's done on top of the stove. So,
Right?
yeah. Gordon Ramsay would probably be upset with me just being in the kitchen in general. For somebody who's extremely comfortable around fire, I have no business in the kitchen, dude. Like I cooked my first a hamburger for like the first time in my entire life, like a couple of years ago, and I was like super proud of myself. And that's not something to be like. That's not an accomplishment you want on like your epitaph, like like.
I
your
cooked a
biggest-
burger. Thank you.
It's not.
Sweet Dick Willie cooked a hamburger in 2013.
Cooked one damn good burger. Look out, Bobby Flay. Like. No, for
Also,
someone who's super
Your
comfortable with
epitaph
fire,
should definitely have Sweet Dick Willie.
100%. SDW for sure.
CW. Former Guardian says, when preparing a hamburger,
Oh,
What is the proper order of ingredients from the bottom of the bun to the top so nothing slides out when you take a bite? Also, what is the best type of French fry? All right, that's too much. Like, let's just focus on the burger.
Well,
Order of operations for the burger.
Wilson
Start at the bottom with the bun.
Recently studied the craft of the hamburger.
Burger Academy.
Dude, I did. Actually, I just graduated. This is such a crazy question. I go bun, lettuce, then patty.
What the fuck? You put the lettuce under the patty?
Listen. There's a reasoning behind it. Just calm yourself. There's another one coming, all right? It's lettuce. I'm sorry, bun, lettuce, patty, your cheese, then your ketchup, mustard, pickle, then another thin layer of lettuce to act as a moisture barrier. That's what that does. The letter is a moisture barrier for your buns. On top of that, if the lettuce overlaps, it's like a netting, like it kind of catches from when you take your bite. You know what I mean? It's structural integrity at its finest for a burger. That's how you do it.
No burger should ever not have lettuce. Lettuce is necessary on a burger.
Yeah, texture. You gotta have that. Yeah, 100%.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, if the ingredients are quality, the less is more, in my opinion.
Lettuce and tomato are mandatory on a good burger.
I don't know about tomato though, there, bud.
Fuck you.
Listen. Let me ask you: are you a thin slice guy, or are you a guy that puts like half a fucking tomato on their burger? Because I
could go either way. Either way.
My boss just puts a big chunk of tomato between two pieces of bread at lunch, and it's so gross, dude.
No, hell yeah! I could have a tomato sandwich. Sandwich, a little olive oil, a little mayo on there. That's it.
Skip the bread. Just eat it like a fucking apple, dude. Like just slap this. Why you gotta put bread in there?
Tomato, I will eat that.
A little salt on a tomato is good. I'll be honest. That is a good snack.
A good tomato is spectacular.
Again, for me, this comes down to the quality of the ingredients. Because if the bun is delicious, if the meat is delicious, if like the actual hamburger is delicious and it's been cooked phenomenally, then a lot of this stuff, the extra stuff, you just don't need. It will be delicious. These other things you're adding to it are helping like persuade the taste buds into realizing that it's...
I completely disagree with you on every level.
Nah, man. If the higher the quality of the ingredients on there, like the less you need.
The higher the quality ingredients, the more of them you want.
Like, you don't need lettuce.
If you got great lettuce, put it on there. If you got great tomato, put it on there. And I'm gonna go bun, burger, lettuce, tomato, cheese, condiments, bread.
That's gotta be a sloppy mess when you're done with it. Too much, no moisture barrier between there, man. That thing is.
I want the condiments, the condiment layer to soak into the top layer of bread.
It's gonna be a soggy burger when you're. I'm kidding. That's good.
Oh man!
Don't you want the cheese like on the meat for it to melt onto it and be?
Yeah, definitely. If you're gonna have cheese on the meat, you want it melted.
You make a strong point.
Why are you putting your cheese like above 5 layers?
You're right. You're right.
Brian, you need to go to burger school and graduate, man.
Burger, cheese, lettuce, tomato, condiment, bread.
I mean, did the cheese cook into the burger? Did you put it as it was cooking, or did you slap the cheese on there like after you pulled off the grill?
I didn't make the burger.
I didn't make the burger.
he did put him some craft singles on it, though.
Oh, Jesus.
I ordered the burger.
Put a craft single on there and call it a day.
I forgot where we were. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't say this name. Eaglevid says, would you all rather have no fall damage or infinite sprint in real life?
Ooh, no fall damage sounds hella fun. I could just jump off of everything and know that I'm not going to die ever.
Yeah, infinite sprint. I don't sprint that fast, so it's not really going to come in handy that much.
I don't really go anywhere.
No fall
so
damage.
I don't know if I'm gonna...
You need to think about it like this, though. If you have infinite sprint, then I think that implies that you're not getting tired ever. You know?
Right.
So your energy levels are through the roof. You don't expire. You know, you're jogging everywhere. You're going constantly. The no fall
It's still
damage.
not
How
fun.
often are you gonna fall? Like, are you thinking?
Well, a hell of a lot more
Do you
often if
know
I got
how
no fall
clumsy
damage.
I am, Tefty? I
Bro.
fall all the time.
You're just gonna
Sometimes you
suddenly
take
adopt a flop constantly? Be like, hold on a second, I got no
Here's
fall damage.
how I think of it.
I could just throw myself at the floor constantly. That sounds.
If I got
That doesn't sound
infinite sprint,
useful.
I don't actually think I'm gonna run that more often than I'm currently. But if I got
Exactly.
infinite fall damage, or if I got no fall damage, I'll be like just toss myself off all sorts of shit.
What
Like,
happens when
I
the
can
thrill
take the
goes
elevator
away?
or fuck it.
You could make some serious cash off that too. Like nobody
Oh,
cares
yeah.
about a guy that can run forever. Forrest Gump already did that. That's already been seen.
Right.
You know, like so I could finally
Fair
get
point,
over
fair
my
point.
fear of I could already get over my fear of flying. Finally get over my
True.
fear of flying if I had no fall damage, dude, because fuck flying. It sucks. I
Do
hate
you
it.
think?
It's scary.
Do you think you'd actually lose the fear of flying though if you had no fall
just
damage?
I'd be like that
Yeah,
looks like
what's to be scared of?
just
so
drop me out of the plane.
is that legit? The reason to be scared of the plane is like the fall?
Yeah, fall
Yeah.
damage
The
is
other
is
thing
a-
is,
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh, I don't
fall
know.
damage
I'm
You're
in a
afraid of
stuck-
getting
that you're-
COVID on a
that you're
plane. I
trapped-
guess that's one
You're
thing.
trapped in a cylinder tube in the atmosphere with a bunch of people, maybe. You know?
Fall
Is it going
damage
hefty?
is
In your world, is the plane like going up into space and you're getting stuck in space? Is that what's happening?
No, I mean, like, it's just.
If we're falling, isn't falling the fear of flying?
I
The
feel
plane
like the
falling?
fear of the plane is already relatively irrational. You know, it's like the chance of going down in the plane is already super low. So
The fear of having an awful conversation with the person next to you.
Is that hefty? He's like, I'm scared of flying because there's someone sitting
Listen.
next to me with his socks off and his feet on the monitor.
this
and he's
foot
trying to
just
talk to
came
me
out of the
about his
side
children.
from behind me.
fear
What the
of a
hell?
fierce battle over the armrest.
I'm just
Listen,
saying, like,
you
I
guys
feel
say
like your
that it's
fear of the plane is a lot more like mental as opposed to knowing that you could fall out of the plane and not die. Yeah.
Well, listen, my fear of flying didn't come from watching Twilight Zone as a kid. Like I had a horrible experience on a plane, like strangers holding hands, praying, like children crying, like it was awful on a plane one time. So that's where
'Cause of
my bad
turbulence?
experience. It was way more than, dude. It was like out of a movie, except the only thing that didn't happen was the lights didn't dim. Like the compartments were coming open, like luggage was coming out, like strangers were holding hands and praying. And I've gotten on a plane many times after that, but
Yeah.
like I am sweating bullets, dude. Like you could pick me out on the plane and be like, "Woo, that guy, he doesn't want to be here right now."
That
Like,
dude's definitely on drugs.
but with no fall damage, that's what I'm saying. Dude. I have to. I gotta eat a fucking pot cookie or two before I get on the plane, man. Like, so the way I'm getting through it.
Yeah, as soon as the things start getting rough, I'm going to open the door. I'm going to say, good luck. And
Yeah.
jump out.
You're going to depressurize
fall
the cabin
damage?
and then poof, pop out.
I mean, it's already going down. I'm opening the door and getting out. I might as well survive. Everyone else is going.
Later.
Maybe you guys want to give it a go. I could maybe carry someone. I could probably take one, maybe some children with me. Just hold on to me. We'll go. It'd be great.
You
I'll be
think
a hero.
you could absorb the fall for them?
Of course.
See why not?
Uh.
As long as I have them up here and not like on my legs.
Have you seen Watts play trials? I think she can do anything. Frankly,
She's carried several people.
I feel
on
like
her
this
back
question
before.
has evolved beyond like, you know, no fall damage is a lot different from
They wouldn't
like
have any fall damage.
head first out of a plane into the ground.
No, that's fine.
that's no fall damage.
That's no fall damage. Because when you're in a game and you're like, does this have fall damage? You're talking about if you jump from a high area and take damage when you land, right? You're
But
not
I
being
feel
damaged.
I feel like you
from a
land on
mountain
your
as you
feet
fall.
in the game. I feel like you could still get punched in the
fine.
face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd be painful. So
Yeah.
could you stick the landing out of a plane and fall on your feet?
Yeah.
Hell yeah! If I had no fall damage,
If I have no fall damage, fuck it. I don't even got to land on
Maybe
my
like-
feet, dude.
pencil position.
Yeah, I'm stiff as a board.
Oh yeah, totally.
No tuck and
could
roll
control
at
my-
all.
The pitch and yaw, my body flying through, 4,000 feet. Yeah, no problem. This is easy.
No fall damage. Lord Bira says, if you had to choose ice cream or Italian ice, is Italian ice like that shaved ice? It's flavored ice. Is that what Italian ice
It's
is?
basically flavored ice, yeah.
Or is it the creamy ice?
I think it could be both. I think it's like,
Italians make, if we're going straight at Italy on both of these things,
mm,
Italians make amazing ice cream.
yeah.
You talking about
Vanilla ice
gelato?
cream.
So
Oh,
Italian
like-
ice cream.
Yeah,
ice cream.
gelato.
Their ice cream is just so good.
All right.
It's amazing.
Italian ice cream. It's,
If I have to,
Just
if I have to
in
go from
general.
experience, the
Definitely.
little cups of, I think it was called like Luigi's Italian ice that you would get
Oh,
at the
yeah.
grocery store. The
Delicious.
little cups, those were pretty fire. The strawberry ones were,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Bubba J77 says, "What's everyone's go-to quarantine snack? The snack that you must have." His is spicy trail mix.
That sounds great.
Yeah. What's
should
in
give me
the
some of
what's
that.
in spicy trail mix? Is there
Maybe just
Is there
dried
candy?
peppers.
dried peppers? It's just dried peppers. It's like
Yes.
it's all that's
Various
in it.
different dried peppers.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
a raisin. It's actually like a super spicy hot pepper.
Oh fuck! This is just a dried out Carolina.
yeah, no shit. Chopped up Carolina. We've been the lady's been making smoothies with like yogurt and like frozen fruit. Like we'll freeze up some fruit and
Mhm.
it's oh man, they're
Delicious.
phenomenal. We have these mason jars that have like a hole in the top of them for these like plastic straws that are like because like if you want a thick smoothie, you can't have a normal straw, dude. It can't. The structural
True.
integrity of the straw will not
Absolutely.
hold up, dude. So
Especially
we
in
have
the days of paper straws. Like this
Bro.
is we're in an emergency.
You need you a
situation
giant
here.
metal straw. That's what you need.
Yep.
yeah.
Or glass.
I'm
straw.
afraid of the metal straw. Like, what happens if I fall on that thing? I could impale myself. Like,
Dude,
I want a
Well, with
flexible
no
straw.
fall damage, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
There was a big
Good
there was
point.
As long as you fall.
Yeah. There was a big fad in the glass community of making like glass straws. Like it was
Oh,
just
Yeah,
a
that's what I'm
big,
talking about.
big fad going around. Like people were big into it, and all of a sudden, one dude was like, "This isn't safe." Like, and it took one person, only one person, took only one person to realize that it wasn't safe for everyone to be like, "Yeah, this is a fucking horrible idea," and they just stopped doing them.
Wait, what?
Does anybody else like clean their teeth with a straw when they're done with their meal?
No.
Like if you get like a fast food meal,
What? Clean your teeth with
I'll
your
use
straw?
I'll use the like almost like dental floss. I'll use
toothpick?
it.
Can't say I have.
Yeah.
No.
That, yeah. No.
Yeah, we do.
I'll chew on it. I'll chew on it, but I won't like take it and like I won't brush my teeth with it, but like I'll chew on the straw afterwards.
My diet hasn't really changed, in all
Same.
honesty.
It's exactly the
Nah.
same for me.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah.
Like we're getting a lot of like takeout food, like we always have. I remember my mother told me a story how like she had taken me to McDonald's when I was a small child, and she was like super embarrassed about it. And then like a couple because she like felt like she was a neglectful parent for taking me to McDonald's. And then years later, my father, who they had gotten divorced before I was even 1 year old, told me the exact same story, how he was like super embarrassed to have taken me to McDonald's. But you know, you do these things because like I gotta feed this fucking kid and like I don't feel like cooking.
Are you sure they're not just was embarrassed of you? They're like this Brian kid. He's walking around with a full beard. He's like 4 years old. People are staring at me.
I gotta go.
He's
Briar acting a fool. Young Briar acting a fool.
oh, young Briar, you know, from right out the womb, he was throwing Molotov cocktails at everybody.
I've heard some stories. Trust me, Briar. When it's just me and Briar in Discord, he's told me some.
Tell
stories.
you, they were like, I feel like Briar's gonna jump over the counter and make his own burger. That's
We were
why I don't
both-
want to take him to McDonald's.
both
He's gonna
wild
go in
ones
there. That's
growing
where
Look
up.
at that
all the-
spatula. Let me show you how it's done.
That's where all the McDonald's ice cream goes. It's little Briar going around and robbing everybody.
I almost got arrested when I was 15 because I was standing on the counter at McDonald's yelling at them because they didn't have root beer.
And now we have our answer.
It's all coming together. Piecing together right now.
Zachary Richards says, "Hello, everyone. Now, if you had all the money in the world to build your new home, where would you like to live? And would it be in the city or a small town? You have budget is no limit. You can build a house anywhere. Where's it going to be? And like, is it going to be in a city or a small town or in the country?
Ooh.
Out in
As
the
it
middle of
is
nowhere.
right now, I would have to do some research on where places in the world are going to look post climate change. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Once
where's
the sea level raises up about
yeah,
3 to 10 feet or
like
so.
maybe Canada's looking good. Like
Get some oceanfront property in Michigan.
I'd have to do a little geographical research on that. You know what I'm saying?
The Colorado Rocky Mountains, like
very end some of the climate change stuff, and then I'd probably pick it. I do like the forest though. I do like West Coast general.
I do like mountains. I'm a fan of mountains and like rivers and waterfalls and lakes and stuff. I love all of that.
Like the middle of nowhere, somewhere where there's a clear sky with no pollution, to where I can look
really
up.
good internet.
Yes, it have to have internet, of course, even if it's in the middle of nowhere.
If your
but it's
budget's
gonna be a
infinite,
clear
you'll be able to
sky.
have that pipe going.
I can have someone put the line from 500 miles away to my house. I can.
You
afford
can
it.
spend $1 million on a fiber optic line. No problem. Money's no problem.
Absolutely.
I was actually in this position about 12 years ago. And what I decided on was a house that was in a town that was a blue-collar town. I was within walking distance to the downtown area with like restaurants and bars, but I was within about a 2 to 5 minute motorcycle ride to like country roads. And I was happy as shit. Yeah. The bedroom had a deck on it, so I could walk out the bedroom and like sit on the deck.
Beautiful.
It was basically the perfect house for me.
Yeah.
Because I could walk to like local restaurants and local bars and like downtown, but I could also within moments be in the country. And it was awesome.
I just like to point out that Florida had pointed out, Suros in chat had pointed out that 12 years ago you had infinite money.
No, I had
You said you were in this exact position.
I had the opportunity to buy the house that I wanted just for me. And that's what I bought. It was cheap too. It didn't cost infinite money, but it
Can confirm living in the country is amazing when you can just cruise around and see an open sky and look at the stars. I have to be able to stargaze at night. Every little thing I see going by is totally UFO. 100%. Like, it's fun to just stargaze. Like,
you're not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Oh, it's 100% aliens.
100%.
Listen, I'm going to say the same thing that I told Briar. It's one of two things. Either it's aliens or it's us up there, and both are equally terrifying.
Oh, it's you from the future?
See the new World of Worlds? The final episode of the new World of Worlds?
What?
Oh, man. It's a must watch.
Briar, how drunk are you?
100%.
Is there a new World of War of the Worlds?
War of the Worlds.
Is there a new War of the Worlds like TV show?
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah,
no
it's
idea.
on Epics.
It's on Epic.
I'm actually
Yeah,
aware of this.
Free right
Epic
now.
Store.
No, Epics.
It's on.
It's
What's
like
the content
a
creator
Netflix
code I
that
should
you've
use?
Never heard of. Hero Time 39 says, if you could spark up a legal, medicinal, sweet, succulent ganja with any Destiny character, who would it be and why?
Zer, 100%. Imagine the stories he would talk about.
Yes.
Oh my god.
100%. I hadn't thought of that until you said it, but now that I've heard it, yes.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd
'Cause-
want to hit the joint after those tentacles have been all over it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why you offer it second. It's like,
Ooh.
You want to finish
roach?
this?
What, you just give him the roach, Tefty? That's all.
hey, Zer, his will is not his own, man.
Oh.
Without find out why his will is not his own.
Yeah.
That's
What's
true.
been going on?
That
That's
dude's,
true.
dude's definitely got the COVID.
I would
6 feet for
He's
sure,
probably
that guy.
immune to it. if anything.
I would probably say the Drifter, because if there's one person in the Destiny universe that already has weed, it's him.
I think the Drifter is just going to make you super paranoid. It's going to be like, hey, I'm a
True.
nice guy, but
True.
am I?
He's gonna spawn his little weird.
I think he'd be really like discreet about it, like how he does the tricks with like the motes and the coins and stuff. Like he could just like, you know.
I think that would
secretly
be fucking
pass
with
you off
the
a
whole
dime bag.
time. You know you're high, and he'd be fucking with you the whole
I still stand by Drifter. If
I think
anyone's
he'd
got
probably
weed
be
in
the
tower, it's him.
most interesting discussion.
He'd be
Yeah.
the most likely to mess up my high and just leave me scared and paranoid.
Yeah. Zer,
Yeah, I'm with Watts on this one.
Zer, you're going to be questioning if you really believe what he said afterwards. You'd be like,
I believe him.
Did Zer actually
believe
say that?
Yes.
Yeah. Zer just makes you want to believe he's the life of the party. Like the Drifter is the life of the party, man.
Yeah. He's not trying at all. It just is.
Right. Yeah.
The Mohegan 9 says, "Do any of you know how to cut hair?"
Hopefully soon.
Only my own hair.
We got
Might
some
be.
issues out here.
Might be ordering a Floby pretty soon. The vacuum
The
cut.
Flovey.
Yeah.
So-
My wife has cut my hair in the past, and
Same.
I'm not eager for it to happen again.
Time to pull up some YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
time.
that's the play
Yep.
for me. I'm just nervous.
Dreadnought says, "What's your best fuck this I quit story?"
Ugh. In Destiny related?
I think in life.
3? Oh, okay. I was just saying, Destiny, it was the first time I used LFG, but
Really?
it was-
Let's hear
it was
that
also-
story.
It's also, well, no, some good things came out of it. I met some really good friends, like some life. I met Director in that same. Long story short, LFG party.
So you're saying it's a bad experience?
3 in the morning. Me and 2 other Tower Life members were awake because all the other normal people were in bed at 3 in the morning. They wanted to do a raid. We LFG'd it. We had just gone flawless that weekend, so we had all of our flawless gear on. Some guy, long story short, got really mad at us because we had gone flawless, and apparently he was having some trouble, and he was
Just angry.
extremely passive. Yeah, I could tell you why that makes sense, but it's too long of a story.
I want to
Basically,
hear the whole story.
he just
I
kept
kinda
asking,
do
"Where'd you
too.
get that? Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that rocket launcher from Trials? Where'd you get that chest piece from Trials? Where'd you get that emblem?" And finally, I told him, I was like, "From Trials, man," and just booted me from the party. That's the short version. So all of those people then left that party and left that dude alone and invited me to a party, and we picked up a 6-person on LFG and did the raid. And one of
And
those
they've
people,
regretted that decision ever since.
one of those persons, Briar, was Director, who I actually ended up keeping in contact with, like, still to this day, even though he's not playing Destiny still, but like I've kept in contact with him. So from an ultimate low LFG to creating, a life friend out of the same story. So there's a good ending.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know what
horrible.
happened with that dude. Why was he so pissed off?
Dude,
Yeah, did you ever go
he-
flawless?
I think that I think that was his deal. Like, and I don't know. He was extremely aggressive about a few topics, and yeah, I ended up getting the boot from the party. But it was funny because everybody ended up leaving that party to come start a new one and finish out the raid. So it was a good end.
Weird.
Yeah,
Super
totally.
weird.
Say if that's you, that's super strange.
I can't really think of anything that was like I had to hit the abort. I mean, I've done some interesting raid help in the past, and we've pretty much got it done. I don't think maybe there was one time that we had to call it quits because there was just like networking problems or something like that. But
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything that I was like I have to pull the plug on it.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so I have one. So Tomo went away for an evening. I was like, gonna get drunk with Ian. And we did trials help while both of us drinking a lot.
Smart.
And it got to the point where the person we were trying to help was getting really annoyed with us. Like getting really passive aggressive and angry. And I was like, I think I should
Were
go
you
to bed.
streaming?
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
Me and Ian were just giggling and we were just like, I'm gonna go left. Okay, we die. And he's just like, guys, what did we do? This is so bad. He was getting very angry. So I was like, Ian, I'm gonna go to bed. Good night. You know what? Actually, I did drink, the like lemonade that has weed in it, the drinks.
Oh yeah.
You take a tiny sip of that and you're like, uh-oh. I had drank a bit of that.
Yeah, it's kicking
Which
in. I'm
It's
feeling it.
kicked in right away. It tastes like liquid weed. It doesn't even
Mhm.
taste like lemonade. It just tastes like straight up liquid weed. And let's just say, couldn't have carried anybody. But he was pissed. I thought people were gonna be happy and excited that we were intoxicated and trying
Oh,
very hard.
no.
I'm sure your chat was loving it.
Yeah, everyone was having a great time. He was like,
So
I
the
want to
one
go
guy who was
flawless."
thirsty for the
Like-
lighthouse. Kind of like, fuck.
I was like, okay, guys, going to bed. Called it. Just cut it. Went to sleep. It's time to go. He was progress. I thought he was going to start yelling at me. I had to go.
Oh no.
Wow.
When I first met my wife, I was working for a company, and I had an asshole boss who I could deal with, and then he got fired, and they promoted this other guy who I knew to be incompetent to his position. And then this incompetent guy was doing incompetent stuff. So I was like, telling my wife, I'm like, I think I gotta quit. And she's like, why don't you just be incompetent and they'll have to fire you and then you'll get unemployment? And I said,
You don't say.
So I didn't have a fuck this, I quit story. It was more like I fuck this, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of do my work. Yeah, that's smart. That's a 5-head plan right there. That is. Oh man.
2 more questions left, then we're done for the night.
Cool.
It's almost a 3-hour podcast. Sorry.
Briar's losing track of time.
Briar
Being
has
drunk.
lost the time.
Hugo Rune 79 says, have you ever walked around a hotel room dressed only in your underwear, drinking miniatures from the minibar, and pretended you're drunk, partially naked giant? If not one, you should. It's very liberating. 2, what is the weirdest thing you've done in a hotel?
Oh man.
I don't think
I've never done that.
I've done I like the robes. Like we stayed at one where they had like a cheetah pattern, like for the robes and stuff. And like
really?
we had like our own booze and stuff. Like because you never tap into their liquor cabinet because you're gonna be paying for that shit.
You're gonna be broke.
Rich.
Yeah, you're gonna be broke.
Yeah,
for sure. So you always have your own booze and stuff. So like we've stayed at some pretty. Me and Sam, our thing was we used to travel the country and go to a lot of different music festivals. So we've stayed. There's been a few times that we've done like the dive hotel, and then there's been a few times where we're like we want to splurge and do a fancy one. And like we've done the booze with the robes on and stuff. I don't really know if I want to answer the weirdest thing I've done in the hotel.
No, I want to hear it. So
I'm sure you do.
Weirdest thing I've ever done in a hotel was stay in a hotel with Pope Bear. That was the weirdest thing I've ever done in a hotel.
Good answer.
Yeah, I hear that was the
answer.
experience.
Especially since the shower was
last year, right?
Yeah, at PAX, the shower was in the middle. Like it wasn't in the middle of the room, but it was like in the room, like with all the glass and all that. There was these blinders that you could pull shut, but still, you walk in, you see the shower right in the middle. And you're like, this is a little strange, you know?
So the story was that Pope said, "I've got a hotel for you at PAX."
Yeah.
I said, "Great."
Fantastic.
And then
wonderful.
he said, "It's going to be the 3 of us, Tefty, me, and you." And I said, "What? Do you have room for me at your house?"
Brian was like, "No, absolutely
no, I'm not doing that."
Nope.
It's been 10 to 15 years since I've shared a hotel room.
Yep.
Like that's not something I do anymore.
Yeah, I was on the fence too, and then it turns out it was a double, so there was separate beds. I was like, okay, and then as soon as I walked in, I saw the shower like it was, because if you are going to take a shower, that means you're closing those blinds, and that means that the toilet is locked off as well. Which it would make sense even if the door was closed on a bathroom, but still, like the idea of what's going on with that situation, awkward
And then
to
Pope
share.
was puking the whole time.
Yeah.
Pope
Day
got
2
sick.
Of PAX. Day 2 of PAX, I go to pick up Tefty and Pope to share a ride over to PAX, and Tefty's laughing his ass off because Pope had sprayed the bathroom with puke.
Dude, he said, like Pope will say things. I'll be like, you're just stretching it, aren't you, Pope? You're just stretching the truth there. So then I walk in, I go use the bathroom. I'm like, is that chunks on the wall? It's like, holy crap, he did spray chunks everywhere in the bathroom. And then he said, he was like, oh, I didn't clean it all up. And I was like, yeah, you missed some. But the fact that was the post cleanup was like, huh.
Oh,
wow.
Yikes. Okay. Yikes.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done anything weird in a hotel. I can't think of anything I usually play it pretty straight. I'm usually like just worried about like catching something.
I do all the weird shit in my own house, to be honest. I don't really want to do it. Yeah.
Safety of my own home.
Yeah, for sure.
Say something weird also that was connected to that like doesn't have anything to do with Pope, but like the service there, it was at the W, and the W is like, it's a good hotel chain. Although the lobby was super weird because it was connected to a club. So you went through, you're like, is this a club? What's going on? And like, there's the elevator to go upstairs. So that was super weird. But the service, I'd ordered room service, and the person delivering it like wasn't knocking. And then finally, like I heard a louder and louder like knock and open the door. And the guy's like, yeah, your food. I've been knocking. I was like, huh? Like, I haven't heard anything, man. And he was like super pissed off that he had been knocking on the door. And anyways, I thought that was strange. Weird little anecdote. So
maybe you should just try actually knocking instead of tickling.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, but then I was like, I don't want to go down this path.
The hotel doors are thick, man. You need to slam on those things when you're knocking.
Yeah, for sure.
You know that if you work there.
If you work there, you should be aware of those type of things, as opposed to getting disgruntled over like not knocking hard enough.
Blandy McBlanderson says, all right. Researchers at Stanford University have developed a toilet that can identify people using their anus as a fingerprint.
Yo,
I don't really have a question, but I think you all should know about this.
Did I not bring up the iAnus or the iDebate?
The iAnus
from Apple? I was like, Apple's gonna make like a.
Please tell me
I swear to God, a few months ago, I had brought up like an Apple-related technology.
What does it do? Does it load your personal playlist to play you in the bathroom?
Yeah, your settings.
Is there an opt-out?
My user settings?
So
Yeah, like how warm you want the bidet water.
Yeah, you could adjust temperatures.
Like
it can track your usage over the months. Be like,
hello, Briar. We better double flush this bad boy.
Yeah, it'd be like, you typically go during this time during the day. Just thought you should know.
You've been peeing more. Are you okay?
Yeah, here's the volume.
Schedule a doctor's visit.
That's ridiculous. Okay, I hope that's a working title. The iAnus.
iAnus.
That's gotta be a working title.
Yeah, right. That's the name of the episode right there. iAnus. That's it. That was all the questions. That was a good question and answer.
Yeah,
a long episode. I don't think we've done an episode this long in a long time.
It's been a bit. Yeah, it almost always.
What happens when people are intoxicated? And it's great.
Intoxication and also not much to talk about Destiny. For some reason, those always become the longer episodes. Sure. I was gonna say that whole iDebate, the iAnus thing was connected to when I got an Apple Watch, and I was talking about the Apple Watch technologies and it tracking your biorhythms and sensors and stuff.
You hear that Google has been sharing like everybody's like location status with the government so that they could track like everybody's like movements? Like that's fucking scary.
Here's that.
I've been doing it for years, bro.
Shocked face.
I didn't opt into that.
The government watching me are like, wow, she really doesn't go anywhere.
You know that? Yeah, I know. If anything, it just solidifies how much of a no life I already had. No, you signed up for that, Brian, when you bought an iPhone.
Anyways, we better end this show. Wilson, where can people find you on the internet doing stuff? Where can they buy your glasswork?
I mean, like, I don't have a website or anything.
No,
like,
Etsy?
I rarely promote it on Twitter. Like, if you really want to get in contact with me, best place is on Twitter right now. I've been saying I want to live stream Glassblowing, but I keep talking about it and not doing it.
That would be awesome.
It's a scary jump, man.
I'm still a sub on your Twitch.
You know,
I think it's been 2 years since you've streamed.
Which means I got a check coming soon. Hell yeah. Which means you'll be my only sub. So like a year from now when I get a check, I'll just mail you the check that Twitch sent me. Give you your money back.
No, I don't want that.
No, Twitter, Ryu Wilson. That's RYU Wilson. Hit me up. I'll try to post more of my glass on there more, but most of the time it's just Destiny banter. So yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah. What about you guys?
Me. I am Miss 5000 Watts. Find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. I'm Miss 5000 Watts. I'm going to be streaming Final Fantasy super early tomorrow if you want to watch Final Fantasy 7 again.
Nice.
Going to be
I
playing.
do want to watch.
Maybe
I got to
5
stay up
hours
all
of
night
darts.
to watch your past broadcast, though, so I can catch
You
up.
might have to. There's a lot of me saying that everyone's hot. So prepare for that.
Hell yeah.
I'm moving the camera so we don't block Tifa's boobs. Can't do that.
Thank you.
Good looking out.
Can't do that. It's against POS, I believe.
Briar?
You can find me if you want to talk to me on Twitter at the Briar Rabbit. I've been doing actually some like kind of retro gaming vids, which has been kind of fun.
You're gonna review that
You can follow
CRT
me
monitor?
over at YouTube. I don't know what I'm gonna do
Here's
with
the
this thing.
CRT monitor that I picked up on Craigslist. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's pretty great.
I don't know. Yeah, fun. It was fun.
That's great. If you want to find more of me, you can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. And also, I stream on the old Twitch, where I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy 7. I'm excited about that. You can find me twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. And Memes and I have been doing music video stuff on YouTube as well, which has been a lot of fun. Just slowly growing.
That has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're fun to put together. You know, we've been doing like one a week basically, and that's on. If you search Tefty and memes, it can get a little confusing. But if you see some sort of synthesizer-ish video, then that's what it is. That's the one to click on.
Just subscribe and hit the notification bell. It makes it easy.
Boom, easy
Yep.
peasy.
Booyah.
Yeah.
Well, that is episode 183 of the Destiny Community Podcast, discussing all things life, Destiny,
All things Destiny related.
Destiny,
Loosely.
Glass,
Loosely.
Luthier. It's great.
I'm sorry to bring you guys down to RezoCast level here for podcasts.
I'm just
This is
happy
the
that I
best
know
show
about knowing about the Bethlehem lathe has like leveled up my knowledge about life so much more. I'm happy to know about that.
If
Be a
only somebody
craftsman.
would stream using it so I could really see it. in
That would
action.
be amazing.
But I guess that's never going to happen. So
Wow. Maybe. Soon. I'll say what I've been saying for the past couple months. Soon.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Appreciate all the support here on Twitch and on our Patreon and on YouTube and Spotify, wherever you consume our content on the podcast. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the support,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
See you next time for another episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
hi.